do you want to give a recap, Celeste? I know you were a little upset that I didn't let you do it last time. And
Yeah,
and
I'll
you
do it.
you basically ran the whole session last time. So
I just we had a getting
no,
to know you session. It was
it
great.
was great. I'm all for that. So by all means, take it away, Celeste, with a recap of what happened last time.
Okay, so last time on Rise of Tiamat, so we started off, we were out of the Temple of Diderius, and we had Verum, the dwarf, in our possession, and so we walked back across the desert, we got some rest, and we got to know Verum a little bit better, and talking to him about stuff and his life, and like, you know, giving him jerky and snacks and whatever, and then we got back to the Borskire Bridge, and they went into town to get our mounts back, so Odella and Broswin, while Leo stayed with his best friend Verum. And then we got out of there and headed back to Waterdeep, and we asked Verum a lot of questions, and he was like pretty chill and gave us a bunch of answers about how he thought the Zentarum was involved in stealing the mask from him, and he's basically like screwed now that he doesn't have the mask, and he's kind of grateful that we're taking him to prison because otherwise the Cult of the Dragon would super duper kill him. And but now the white dragon mask, or he had the white one, right?
Yeah, he had the white one, yeah.
So the white dragon mask he had is now at the freaky well where they're trying to summon Tiamat. So that's out of our control. So that super duper sucks. But anyway, we were walking down the road and we found out his favorite kind of pie was, what was it? Katie?
Strawberry rhubarb with crisscross top.
With a crissy-crossy top. We found that out, which was very important. And then we were walking back to Waterdeep, and we saw this crash clearing site thing, and we went to investigate, and we found out that a bunch of adventurers had killed a green dragon, a little bit green baby dragon. So Leo was sad he couldn't kill it. And then there was an A carved in its forehead, which meant something to everybody else except Leo. And then we went back to Waterdeep, and we met up with Leosin, and we handed off Verum to the guards, and we're like, treat Verum nice, we're gonna bring him porno mags. And then we talked to Leosin, about everything that happened. He was like, wow, that's a lot, and he filled up his little notebook. Then we had drinks, and then he went to go get us winter clothes, and then we went out to a whiskey bar called... I don't remember, but we had Dragon Breath whiskey and Mossy Fields and Satisfaction Guaranteed, and we played a drinking game about getting to know you, and we all answered a bunch of questions about each other and had a great time. And then the next day we're like, yeah, we're ready to go, and we got on the boat that's going to take us north to find Maccath the Crimson, who is a scholar who knows about the Drakhorn and apparently disappeared, and there's some kind of white dragon in the mix, and I don't know, but we're gonna punch a dragon in the snoot today. So that's
All right. Thank you, Celeste, for that. You know what? You can have an inspiration. That was wonderful.
Oh,
I'm feeling inspired by your speech, so
yay!
you can have an inspiration. So, you know, I re-roll whenever you wish to use it.
Yes.
Would a porno mag in D&D be a scroll of autoeroticism? I mean, I feel like it's probably more like pictures, but when you bring up a good point, when magic exists, I mean, like mage hand stranger, I don't know how that works. Unseen servant, what kind of serving?
Boy.
You know,
Oh my god. Wait, let me drink more.
I was gonna say, you know,
Yeah.
mirror image, clone, things get weird. That's all I'm saying.
My cork open. This is miserable.
No.
I wish Leo was here to open my bottle.
You can do it with Claire, just like with the sword. Just
There we go.
Saber that cork right off.
Aw.
So I will give you guys. Celeste did a fantastic job describing what had happened, and I will just give a little primer because we did kind of talk a little bit at the end of last session with what happened. But to remind the internet what happened and all that stuff, and to remind you guys, I'll give you a little bit of what you knew, what you had learned, and then sort of where we're at the current. So, with that being said, you guys had learned from Dalla Silmerhell of the Harpers, who was kind of initiated this whole bringing the council together when her husband, who was a previous, I believe, Open Lord of whatever, Mask Lord of Waterdeep? I don't remember. Either way, he's the Lord of Waterdeep. And he was killed, and they believe the cult of the dragon to be involved. And this was like, hey, there's rumblings, bigger things are happening. This legendary or big, up and coming adventuring group, the Belladonnas, took out this, part of their plan. We thought that was it. Now we know there's a whole lot more to it. This could shake the foundations of the realms as we know it. We need to figure that out. So she had told you that you guys had heard the blasting of the Drakhorn. It is a world-shaking event. Everybody felt the shaking, the changing in the nature of animals and dragons and things of that nature. So she told you that the sea of moving ice in the far north of Icewind Dale and up that area is where the last known location of the Drakhorn was. No one can pinpoint its location based on the sound because of its nature, just echoing all over the place. But they think that, and also the Harpers aren't going to tell you that they have, direct contact up there because they're a secretive organization, but they can say with some certainty that it should still be there. The one person who knows the most about it is a tiefling named Maccath the Crimson. She's the person who knows the most about it. She's a member of the Arcane Brotherhood of Luskan, and she was investigating the Sea of Moving Ice and disappeared. She hasn't been seen for 3 years. She was reporting back to the host tower of the Arcane in Luskan via the Sending spell. Her last report spoke of seeing ice hunters paddling their sealskin boats towards a huge iceberg, flattened like a plateau across its surface, but ringed by icy peaks. She had intended to follow the ice hunters and investigate the iceberg, but no reports came in after that. Attempts to find her via scrying or otherwise don't seem to work. On her, they do seem to locate her ship, but that was adrift and heavily damaged just in the water. Didn't seem to be any discernible, landmarks near it. Some of the crew were seen dead, but she was not seen and has not been found since. And she also warned you that Arathator, the Old White Death, a legendary white dragon of the north, is known to have a lair somewhere nearby, and that dragons of that power typically have the ability to negate scrying magic. So if she found herself somewhere in the vicinity of his lair, that may shut down the reason that they can't scry on her.
Yeah, Rathator is gonna get booped.
If she's still alive, in addition to the lore she can provide regarding the Drakhorn, the Arcane Brotherhood would most likely be extremely thankful to you for returning one of their scholars, and that may bear fruit at a later point in time. So, Leosin, being your sort of liaison to the council and people there, he was able to hook you up with cold weather gear, snowshoes, that kind of stuff, things for traveling through snow. And basically they hooked you up with passage on a ship heading north to the Sea of Moving Ice out of Waterdeep called the Frost Skimmer. And it is captained by a male human known as Larusta Halfface, as we discussed earlier today. Halfface because half of his face he usually keeps under a hood because he suffered severe frostbite damage over the years traveling in the north. It is a light longship, shallow on the draft, single sail, and can be powered by oars if necessary. And the combination of the wind and the oars helps to move through thick pack ice if that becomes a situation. It's nearly 60 feet long, but it's still light enough to be lifted by its nearly 40 crew members if it becomes hemmed in ice.
Dang. That's a cool boat.
It is open. Well, here's the other part. It's open to the air, which is why it's so light, and it does not have a below deck. Mm-hmm. So to stay when they go to sleep, the ship, the crew's rig sailcloth shelters across the deck to keep away the wind, sleet, and snow, and hold in the warmth, and that's what they stay in to sleep at night. So they're sleeping on the deck because it is so light. There's not like massive stores. Maybe some storage, but not enough place for everybody to just go below deck and sleep. Basically, you guys had already talked. I think, Katie, you had said you wanted to just go somewhere and find a crystal ball worth whatever the amount you need to use it for 1,000 for scrying spell.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have that. So now you scrying it. Yeah. So scrying is an option. Were you to prepare it, you have that option. Okay. So, before we leave Waterdeep, was there anything else you guys wanted to do, acquire, say, leave messages, or otherwise? Because if not, you are off to the far north, where you are probably out of contact with most things of the civilized city-like nature.
I'm so stoked. Let's go camping. I love camping.
I want to get ruby dust and diamond dust before I go.
All right, how much?
200 gold worth of diamond dust.
Okay.
And 100 gold worth of ruby dust.
Okay. Just reincarnation?
No, I don't need reincarnation. I've got.
Oh, you have the rod. Never mind.
Yeah. I that's for Gias. Is it Gias? Gias.
I say Gaius, but
I say Gaius as well.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down so I don't mess that up a million times.
I will just remind you, because everybody always forgets about that spell, to just look at the casting time, because it's.
Yeah, I know.
Because every time everybody I know in every game I've ever played in who comes across that spell, they're like, "Boom! I cast that," and I'm like, it takes like an hour or something to cast.
No, I know.
Okay, cool.
And then there was another one, but I don't remember.
All right, whatever. I take your word for it. Material components for your spells.
Yes,
that's fine.
I got them. I'm gonna mark
Okay. So you have your spell components that you need. We'll say you guys do. I mean, the ship has rations and things, but nothing too crazy. If you want any amenities as far as food or other things go, if you want to, I don't think anybody here really uses ammunition of any kind. Javelins or bows and arrows.
I'll bring a nice fiery whiskey for the cold nights.
Okay, you can swing back by whatever that whiskey palace was.
Oh yeah, I think I bought a bottle, or I bought a bottle. I'll get the dragon's breath. That seems appropriate.
No,
yeah. The drowned trout, the very classy name for the whiskey palace, Brittany.
Yes, Brittany.
Anyway, so there you go. You can get a nice bottle of that to help keep you warm throughout
I'll
your
get
trips.
2 to share with the crew too.
Oh man, they are gonna like you a lot.
Yep.
So
I just want to be loved.
We all get so drunk that like the boat just drifts off.
You guys are just like, oh, and now we're in the Moonshay Isles. Well, oh well. This is pretty far away from the Sword Coast. Tiamat won't come over here. We'll be fine.
That's fine.
Alright, so you guys head north on this ship. It is the time it takes to get there. The Frost Skimmer is a fast ship, but it is going to take a while to get there. You're traveling from Central Sword Coast to north and beyond. Most Sword Coast maps don't even go into that much detail when you get that high. So you guys are going to be on, before you even get to the Sea of Moving Ice, it's going to be, I don't know, it's at minimum, God, I want to say, let's see, do I have a copy of the map? I never have it when I need it. That's fine. It's going to be at minimum, like, we'll say at least 10 days, if not more than that. So is there anything over the course of this time, and as I look up the map currently, you tell me if there's anything you'd like to do. Say if it's 10 days, is there anything you'd like to do? And if I find out it's longer, then maybe we revise that.
How long does it take to make a healing potion again?
Well, with Xanathar's Guide to Everything, a book that is currently on the other side of the room, but I do have it on my phone, significantly shorter than it used to take. So I'll tell you in 1 second.
Like, as much as I want to try to make friends with the whale, this seems more important.
I mean, you know, gotta have goals.
Priorities.
Potion of healing creation. All right. So, creating a potion of healing. A regular potion of healing takes 1 work day, so that's 8-hour day, and 25 gold pieces worth of material. You have, let's see, you have the ability to do so because you have herbalism kit, so you're fine. A greater healing potion is 1 work week, so that is 5 8-hour days and 100 gold pieces. A superior is 3 work weeks and 1,000 gold, and a supreme is 4 work weeks and 10,000 gold.
Okay. So can I make 2 graders?
Yeah, I think that's definitely an option.
There's literally nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I may as well not use those extra days.
For sure. No, I mean, that makes perfect sense, so I would agree with that. Is there anything that Leo... Oh, another thing we need to decide as a party and as a stream here. What do we want to do with Odella? Is Odella just going to come with you and I'll just, like, Jaeger Odella through this? Or did she stay behind in Waterdeep for some reason and the 2 of you alone are going to try to take this on?
Oof. No, we need
Bring
Odell.
her. Yeah.
Okay,
Bring
hey!
her along.
Bring her. She's part of the team. Right, Odella?
And she's...
Slap her on the shoulder.
Right.
Sure.
Hello,
what happened
I'm
to you?
Odella.
That's the best version of Odella I've ever heard.
Why are you touching my nice clothes?
She's gonna watch this and be like, "Fuck you, guys."
All right. So, more or less a straight shot, avoiding of basically going through land on a straight course, not going out on water and assuming that you have to sail around reefs and things. Minimum distance I can find to get from Waterdeep to the Sea of Moving Ice is somewhere in the range of 800 miles.
Damn.
So, that being said, one, you know that the Harpers and the Council, whoever is putting you up for this, they love you guys. Because an average ship's passage is about a silver piece a mile. So, and there's 3 of you. So they clearly are invested in the Belladonnas. Yes.
Well,
so
we're saving their butts. They better be invested.
that is accurate. So let me jump over here and we'll look at how long this type of ship can travel. We'll get a general idea. And we'll get to do some math. Everybody loves that.
I think I'm just spending my time on the boat playing my lute and like dicing and drinking with the crew and practicing my swords. No matter how cold it is, I obviously take off my shirt and practice my swords.
Got it.
All the time.
My eye gets stabbed out by one of your nipples.
It's great.
I'm trying to build up an immunity to the cold. So I'm intentionally wearing as little as possible.
So we're going to say that it says it can go 3 miles an hour, this type of ship, and trying to figure out at a regular pace how far ship's passage can go in a given day. I would say at least, I mean, if a horse can travel, well, horses can run a lot faster than a boat, but horses get tired and a boat does not. I don't know. Let's call it 30 miles a day. That's like an 8-hour day. It's probably going longer. Let's call it 40 miles a day. Think that's accurate?
Sure.
All right, so
I don't see why the boat can't just keep going.
Well, someone's
If they
got
have 40 people on the crew.
True. So we'll stick to the original time of 10 days, right? If you're doing roughly 100 miles a day or so. A little less here, a little less there if you have to maneuver in and out. There's a couple island chains you may have to go around, and you're sailing around the coast, not through it like my map just made me do.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, and it takes you guys about a week before you start to actually get into the Sea of Moving Ice itself. So, you guys start to see the ice flow, and the air is frigid, the water is cold, and it is essentially, the name is very accurate. There's just ice everywhere, chunks of ice, and you guys are moving through. Now let me ask you guys this. The captain, as you guys are moving through, will ask you what your opinion is. Do you want to stay on the ship, where that will help protect you from aquatic-based creatures, if you're staying on open water, but sleeping on the deck is going to be significantly colder because you just have like a canvas teepee basically that you're staying inside, or to kind of run the ship on aground onto some snow or large chunk of ice, and then hop off and then build like essentially igloos, which will be significantly warmer but potentially more susceptible to creatures that could come up onto that.
Well, I have a scarf that keeps me from getting cold.
Yes,
from one of the trinket donations.
You
so
have that. That's true.
I'm down to stay on the boat and make this go as fast as possible.
Okay. I mean, it really wouldn't take too much more time. It's just whether you want to be colder or warmer, essentially. Colder.
I don't get cold. I'm a man.
Okay.
Oy vey.
What do we think? What do we think about Odella?
Odella's gonna wanna. I think that she'd want to be off the freaking boat, so she'd probably want to stay on the boat and inside like a little canvas thing.
Mm.
I don't think that she'd be into building an igloo. That doesn't seem like her.
Fair.
I want to build an igloo.
Well, I guess majority rules in the Belladonnas, so you guys are staying on the boat.
Yep.
Also, your gloaming court ability will help to make it a little more. Your 6th level druid ability helps that. I don't think it climate controls, but it might. So that may help to reduce, and then the crew may love you guys even more.
No, it doesn't do climate anything. It's just all about cover and for giving me +5 to stealth. Well, all of us +5 to stealth and +5 to perception.
Okay.
And no fires are visible.
Gotcha. Not that you're gonna start a fire on the deck of a ship, right? So that would
Sounds
be
like a great idea.
that would be silly. Okay. So, you guys are basically trying to find. You're just looking for Maccath, or are you looking for this? What are you looking for? I guess.
So we should probably start with where her ship was last reported to be seen, right? I mean, that's a fair bet.
Mm-hmm.
And work from there to see if we have any signs of what happened.
Well, you do know that the ship was adrift, so
Okay.
it could be anywhere.
Okay, so we should look for that large plateau then, where the ice hunters came from. The big
Okay.
flat one.
Good.
Okay.
Good thinking.
Then I need to roll some dice, and we'll see. No.
Because it should be big and easy to see.
Okay. So, you guys are in the sea of moving ice. You travel for a day. Full day in here. And... Oh. In the afternoon, on the first day. You guys come across... Or let's see what you come across. Maybe you don't come across anything.
Yeah. That seems
Um,
like our normal stuff.
Yeah, the usual.
so you guys are traveling through, and I will need you actually. So when you guys are on the ship in the sea of moving ice, this is after your potions have been created, Roswin. What's the plan? Are you guys just like hanging out? Are you like what are you doing? Basically, are you searching and looking around? Or are you just kind of hanging out? So I know if it's an active or a passive perception. That's basically what I'm asking.
Once we get close, we'll be, yeah.
You have no idea where you're going. You're in the sea of moving ice. Where this thing could be, there are glaciers and icebergs everywhere. So which one is the one? Needle in a haystack.
I mean, I'd want to talk to the captain, and obviously, you know, he spent a lot of time up here and is used to this, and I think we're probably best friends at the end of, 10 days on the boat together and hang out a lot.
Maybe lovers.
Giving him a lot of whiskey. I don't know, the half face thing may not work for Leo.
He just turns to the side.
If you just look away. Oh, you're beautiful. Your profile is gorgeous.
Okay, so you're probably just having a conversation and hanging out. What about Rosman?
Yeah, she's just looking out basically for any plateau thing, and then also like the description of like the sealskin boats and anything like that. Any odd movement.
Yeah, smoke.
Okay, so what's Leo's passive perception?
14.
And what does Rosman make me a perception check?
Guidance.
Of course.
But of course.
And we're going to say that Odella, for the most part, is going to be more or less inactive till we get into combat.
All right, so that's 22 plus 9.
Yes.
31.
Okay. So,
yeah.
you are not at all surprised when you see from either side of the boat that you guys are on, some, like, I guess it would be whitish. I guess it would be, it's pretty dark. The water's pretty dark up here. So it would be almost like an ebony black, just tentacles on either side of the ship. So you are not surprised by this, Roswell, as this is happening.
Gross tentacles!
I will need everybody to roll for initiative.
Tentacle beasts.
This is not how I wanted to fight with a gross thing. Ugh, I'm gonna get my face sucked off. I just know it.
16.
15.
Alright, so... I don't know. Alright, so Raz has a 16?
15.
15,
Leo.
and Leo has a 16.
Yeah.
Odella has this, wherever that purple D20. There it is. Let's go down. 10. Enemies. Oof, well, they got a 1.
Oh no.
Captain LaRusta. He's got a 7. And we'll leave the crew out of it for the time being. If it gets to that, well, I'll deal with it when we get to it. Let's pull up Odella's character sheet.
We're not gonna need roll 20 today.
We don't need character sheets.
You don't? I mean, you guys should just know your character sheets all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever.
I have it on paper.
I know. Celeste, you're fine. Everything's great. Alright, so Leo, you would go first. And Raz, when you saw the tentacles, did you yell it out, I guess?
Yep.
Alright, so I'll say that you are not surprised by this creature climbing, 2 creatures that have climbed aboard the ship, which are about 15 feet in length from tip of tentacle to top of bulbous head. And you see these 2 giant octopi have climbed aboard the ship, menacingly moving towards, the nearest crew member.
Wait a minute. So they are standing on the boat?
They climbed up onto it. Yep.
So are they like human sized?
They're
octopi.
They're 15 feet long, or they're 10 feet long, but they're octopi. They're like on the deck with all their tentacles. They're not walking. They're like climbing up.
Got it.
You would just assume that they probably would attempt to grab someone and pull them overboard, but if no one's right near the edge of the deck, if that was the case, they would have done that.
Are they playing clarinets?
No, because that would be a squid.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's me first.
Yes.
Okay. Which one is closer to?
It's pretty much equidistant for you. You can get to them.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna run to the one on the right then, and I'm going to go ahead and try to hit it and use one of my new maneuvers, a menacing attack.
Ooh, good
Okay.
choice.
Yep. Okay. So I am. Okay. I'm gonna try to hit it first.
Let's see
and
that.
Expend 1 superiority die.
I believe you don't have to expend the superiority die till you hit.
Oh, well,
I
that's
believe.
Even better. But I'm definitely gonna hit.
Okay. Probably. Their AC's not very good.
15 plus 10.
Yeah, okay.
25.
You totally hit.
Great. Okay, so first I'm gonna need it to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh, what's the DC? This ought to be fun.
Oh, wise. No.
19 save.
No.
No!
That's lame. The octopus is not afraid of me.
It is not.
Okay.
Don't you
That's
still
lame.
get the extra damage, though?
I do.
You still get the extra damage.
Okay, so then that is going to be 12 slashing.
Okay.
And 2 force damage.
Okay. That's
And
with
then-
the D8 extra?
Yeah, I rolled like garbage. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit it again.
Alright.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. 28 to hit.
Yep, yeah.
Okay. And then. All right. That's 11 slashing. And 3 force damage.
Okay. Alright. So
And I'm gonna do a battle cry and give Roswin a bardic point of inspiration.
very cool.
D8s, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then it is Roswin's turn.
Okay, I'm going to do my thing, cast Moonbeam, kind of like to hit both of them since they're.
Well, they're on opposite sides of the ship, and the ship is.
Okay, so no. Why not? I'm still gonna do it.
Okay.
I
Does that light things on fire?
It's radiant damage, and it's technically moonlight if you want to be specific. Because there's a sunbeam spell, so it can't be sunlight.
So it's not gonna burn the boat.
That's why I didn't choose Call Lightning.
Yay!
I was like all ready for the
Call
moment.
lightning,
Wait,
it
wait,
accidentally
wait.
hits the mast instead.
Wait.
Physics gets in the way of magic, it hits the mast explodes.
Oh yeah.
All right, so they have to make a Constitution saving throw. One of them. It's make a DC 17.
That is an 8.
That does not make it.
We'll say it's the other one, or would you want to go for the one that Leo's attacking?
Sure, I got
tell
my
me.
side.
Okay.
We got it handled.
Okay.
All right, so that's gonna be 14 plus 7 is 21 points of damage.
Damn. Alright. So, yeah. It takes 21 points of radiant damage from a moonbeam. And, like, for a moment when it gets hit with that, it sort of changes color to, like, the silvery color, and then it's, like, kind of, like, shifts back to now the brownish color of the deck of the ship. Anything else?
And I fly up 20 feet.
Okay, fair.
Nice.
Then it is Odella's turn.
No reason to get hit if I don't have to.
Odella's like, I don't have a thing. Or maybe I do. Oh, she's gonna toll the dead, I guess, on either the one that Leo had attacked.
Well, apparently that one's very good at wisdom saves, so.
So what?
Not this time. And that's gonna
Dang
take
it.
2d12. Only 1d12 in here? I do. Alright. 12. 16 points of necrotic damage as you hear a sonorous bell right out in the distance there. So, okay. Then it is Captain LaRoosta's turn.
Ooh, man, doing stuff.
So he is. Manual. Right here. So he's gonna pull out a weapon of some kind, which is.
Cutlass?
No. He has a cutlass on his waist, but you feel like he mostly does that for appearances, and then he hefts a two-handed greatsword off of his back. And he's going to move up to the one that is in the moonbeam. And he's going to make a greatsword attack. And he's going to hit with a 20. And he's going to do, damn, dude, 14 points of slashing damage with his first greatsword attack. Okay, he can't do that. And then he's going to swing at it a second time. With a 16, which will also hit. He's going to deal 12 points of damage. Then it's the octopus's turn. Octopi.
But first, that one guy's gonna take moonbeam damage.
That's true.
10. Ooh, God. So 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 7 is 19, plus 10 is 29.
4th level moonbeam?
Yeah, because it's 40-10.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. No, I was just like,
7-10.
I wasn't sure what level we were casting on octopi,
Oh, yeah.
so I was just checking.
I'm going hard, man.
Yeah, so This thing is just like gone. It's vaporized in the moonlight. There's like a tinkling of like it's like its body turns into like sparkly silver moon dust.
Beautiful. The most beautiful murder.
And then the other one's eyes are like, and then it disengages off into the water.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
It disengages off into the
No.
water. It only has 10 feet of movement on land, but it only just got on the deck, so it just kind of, you watch it like it hits the water, its legs like spray out like parachute wise, and it sinks into the water.
It'll be back. I killed its lover.
God. And that is
oh
it.
My God, fearless. Kill level glitter.
And that is it for the giant octopi encounter. Pretty dangerous encounter for 9th level characters. 2 giant octopi that are CR1.
I was totally scared.
I mean, had they climbed up on deck stealthily and hadn't been seen, they have 15-foot reach, so they could have grabbed somebody and whoop right off the side. Which was their whole purpose, is that's what they're supposed to try to do.
We're like, all right, everybody, go back to bed.
Yeah, it's fine. We got this.
And the Captain LaRusta sheathes his greatsword. And he's like, that was pretty good.
Thanks, I really like glitter.
And he's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not expecting that.
Yep. You're pretty handy yourself with that sword. It's a lovely piece of craftsmanship.
And it has, like, it has, like, the way the blade was finished, and the way the heat was applied to the blade, it has sort of, like, a wave pattern on the metal. So it's not, engraved, it's just the way the heat was applied to it, it sort of has, like, a wave pattern. And it's got,
like a shun knife.
So, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be magical, it just seems to be well-made. And he thanks you kindly for your praise. And yeah, then basically the evening goes by. You guys stay another night, and I have to increase the little counter here by 1.
Woo!
So
Get the spell back.
it's the next morning. Everybody gets any health and spells or whatever bardic inspirations back. I roll another 1, so another encounter happens.
We're gonna fuck this one up too.
But it can't be giant octopi because I add 1 to the roll. So it cannot be another set of giant octopi. Which I rolled. So we're going to change. Oh, wait. Okay.
You add 1.
I do add 1. So, during the day, as you guys are moving through, I need you both to make me perception checks. Now that you're aware that perhaps the Sea of Moving Ice is more dangerous than any of the other dangerous places you've gone.
I got a 2 and 1 of my guidance plus 9, 12.
Oh, I got a 20, not natural.
Okay, and Odella...
For once, Leo's paying attention.
Odella got a 12 plus 2, 14. Alright, I have to make some stealth checks.
Ava is okay, if you guys saw that.
Oh, I didn't, but that's great. Okay. Okay, so as you guys are going along, I need you all to make me strength or dexterity saving throws. Apparently you can choose.
Well, don't mind if I do that strength.
I got a natural 1.
Oh, I didn't do very good either.
Neither did Odella.
That was a
Yay!
13.
Okay, so Captain
Crap.
LaRusta got a 1. Fucking.
Win.
All right,
Whoa.
so the crew is like, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? All 40 of the crew, the commoner crews are just like, oh shit, the boat is listing. Grab onto something, and you guys are all like, what? That doesn't make. Whoa, shit.
Pratfall.
So the boat actually begins to list, and almost the front of the ship begins to go under the water. And you guys all you can fail your saving throws. So you are dumped overboard. Roswin, you can fly. So I'm going to say you don't hit the water because flight.
Yeah. Oh no!
So Captain LaRusta and Leo in half plate in the frigid water. I need you both. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw as you hit the water.
Right.
While I'm flying up, I want to take my 50 foot of silk rope and tie it to something, and then go after them, just in case shit goes south.
If I can grab the cap, I got this. Okay, 16.
Okay, and let's see what he is wearing. We'll see. So he's supposed to be wearing. Well, he fights as a. I'm going to say he doesn't have plate mail, but he has this. Okay, so he's actually okay. So you guys both managed to shake off the frigid water that would automatically give you a level of exhaustion had you failed into it because it's such a shock to your system. Personally, if you ask me, the initial shock probably should have been a save versus stun. I feel like that makes more sense than exhaustion. And exhaustion later. Odella will use a bonus action to generate wings from herself because that's a thing she can do. Mm-hmm. And you watch as these ethereal angel wings sprout from her back. And she stays aloft, as does Roswin. Leo and the captain hit the water, and while you are under, you go underwater momentarily. You're fighting to stay afloat in your metal armor, but I need you to make me a. Yeah, you can just make me a perception check while you're in. As soon as you hit the water.
Okay. Oh boy, I'm so not great at these. A 15.
That's actually better than enough. You see that this listing of the ship. Not natural. This was caused, as you see, there are 5 creatures that look like this that have grabbed onto the front of the boat and pulled it down to try to knock you off into the water. Oh. I need everybody to roll for initiative.
Woo!
Uh-oh. Are they the Sahuagin?
No, they're not Sahuagin. These are marrows.
14.
Oh, a natural 20. What a way to spend it on initiative. Yeah. 25 total.
25 for Leo. Roswin had a what?
14.
14. Odella. 13. Bad guys. Marrow. I'll just close the book. That was dumb. They have an 8. Oops. 8. And then Captain LaRusta has also has a 9. So, first up is Leo. You are in the water and you see these creatures. They look like some sort of weird, distorted, tentacle, bearded, evil mermaid creatures.
Is the captain within arm's reach of me?
Yeah, he seems to be afloat. Okay. But yes.
I am gonna grab him and kind of underwater. This will be fun. I'm gonna flourish like my cloak and it's the Cape of the Mountebank, so I am gonna cast Dimension Door to beam the captain and I back on board the ship.
Ooh.
So right. Probably braced by like the mast on the other side, so even if it's tipping, we can just grab onto that.
Okay, yeah, so you guys, you bamf back on in a spray of water as well as brimstone-like smelling smoke. And you realize that they did just list it down, but it has since started to bob back up, so that happens. So you guys are on deck. Roswin, you are in the air. You can kind of see that there are these creatures under the water.
Wait.
Oh, that was your action. I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then with my... Alright, would grabbing the captain be a movement? Or do I still have movement?
Yeah, I'll say that you do, sure.
Okay. And then I'll move closer towards where the creatures are on the front of the boat. And then singing out my challenge. I'm going to go ahead and try and give Roz some bardic inspiration once again.
Yeah. All right. Roswin, it is your turn.
Okay, can I get to them? Or closer to them?
You can get closer to them. I mean, we'll say you're probably, if you were in the middle of the ship when it listed, it's a 60-foot long ship, so if you flew 30 feet, you could probably at least see them.
Okay. If I have a range attack of 30 more feet, will it hit them?
Depending on what it is, yeah.
Blight.
Oh yeah, blood will work.
Okay. Yay. Okay.
You can use it.
I know.
Okay, so he's gonna make a con save. Wisdom. Con.
Wisdom. Sorry. Constitution.
What's your save?
17.
Yeah, he fails.
All
There
right.
are 4 of them, but yeah.
All right. First one. 8, 7, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. That's 34, 38, 39 points of damage.
Alright, so you watch as this beam of sickly green energy shoots forth from Roswin's hand or instrument of her choice. And it blasts through the water, kind of evaporating the water in a spot, and it hits one of these creatures under the water. And it begins to shrivel up as the life force is drained from it, but it manages to still stay alive.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, these are toughies.
A little bit easier than giant octopi. Alright, then... anything else, Roswin?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay. Then it is Odella's turn. So Odella is going to do a thing. I think we might actually cast a spell this time. Rather than last couple times where we haven't done that. But there's also a wooden ship, so...
Yeah, careful.
I know.
Eldritch Blast wouldn't set anything on fire.
No, although the book does specifically state, and I'm metagaming here, that fire or force damage... Force damage typically does full damage to objects and stuff. That may have just been a leftover from the from D&D Next, where like when it was still playtest, because that's not really a thing. But it specifically states fire or force, but that's whatever. So she will. Let's see. She's got a million magic items, which are not in this document here.
Shoot some stars from that ring.
I might just do that. Although I don't believe that's contained here in the...
Send out some lions. That'll go over well.
Yeah, right?
Yay! Lions! They make everything better. We can snuggle with them afterwards when it's cold.
Yeah!
So what she'll do is... I think she's going to... twin spell Guiding Bolt. Because... she has her wings out right now, so it does an extra 9 damage when you cast a spell. And I'm going to say in this instance, since the twin spell is just a twinning of 1, then maybe it'll just count for both.
Yay.
So that is an 18, which hits, and a 27, which also hits. So we'll cast it. We'll cast it at second level. So that's 5d6. Which is going to come out to be 10, 15, 16, plus 9, 25 points of damage to 2 of these guys. And they are both glowing, and the next attacks against either one of them is at advantage. So that was Odella's turn. Then it's Captain LaRusta's turn, and he will pull forth... I guess a crossbow and try to shoot them, although he realizes that it's probably not going to be too useful underwater.
He's not underwater.
No, shooting underwater.
Oh. I was like, Chad, I got him.
Relax, Celeste. I got you. But he misses with an 11. Second one, he misses again. Shoots 2. Actually, he can only... shoot 1 because he doesn't have crossbow master. So shoots 1 and it seems to miss. Then they get to go. So there 3 of them will slither up onto the deck. And one is going to hurl a harpoon from underwater out at Rosman in the air. Try to pull. Well, it's got a disadvantage, though, because you're outside of the range of his harpoon.
And I think that with... Actually, I have my shield of arrow catching. Does that count for that?
I believe it's against the ranged attacks, ranged weapons.
I think so.
Well, what would your AC be without it?
19.
Well, you need to look it up because this is a 20.
Okay.
Not natural.
You can use my thing to make sure it doesn't hit you. You can add it to your AC.
You could do that.
Let me just make sure.
Because it might just be a +2.
+2 bonus to any ranged attack. So I have.
So you have a 21. So
Nice.
it misses. So it pulls the harpoon back under the water. And you know what? The other one. He's going to try it too.
Okay.
Well, he's going to miss.
Jerk.
No, he misses as well. So the three that slithered up onto deck, they're going to throw their harpoons as well because they have better swim speed than land speed. So Leo, we got harpoons coming at you.
Bring it.
And that is going to be a 19, which is going to miss.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the less than that. And less than that. So 3 harpoons come flying at you and then are ratcheted back. No hits.
I dodged them all like the Matrix.
You do. And that is your turn.
Okay, sweet. I am gonna go ahead. So there's 3 on the deck in front of me.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Fear.
Okay, sure.
So I'm gonna have everybody need to make me. It's a Wisdom, I believe.
Yes.
Yep, Wisdom saving throw.
And the DC is...
16.
Okay, and remind me, they have to... If they fail, they have to dash away from you or something?
So, must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or drop whatever it is holding and become frightened for the duration. While frightened, a creature must take the dash action and move away from you by the safest available route on each of its turns, unless there is nowhere to move. If the creature ends its turn in a location where it doesn't have line of sight on you, the creature can make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So, 2 of them drop what they're holding, 1 does not.
Okay. And then with my... so that's my standard. So I'm just gonna move into like a dueling position with the other one.
Okay.
So I'm like, fight me.
You do that, then it is Rosman's turn.
Okay. So are there any groupings right now?
There are 3 on the deck that are sort of next to each other, and the other 2 that were underwater both moved in to try to get to you with the harpoons.
Okay. Moonbeam work underwater? That's the question.
It's not a fire spell, and technically fire magic I think still works underwater anyway. D&D's weird. It doesn't say that it doesn't say that it doesn't, but it doesn't say that it does, which therefore means in Dungeons and Dragons that it does.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna do my moonbeam thing.
It's also generated from a magical weave that encompasses all of the world, so. Anyway, moonbeam?
Yeah.
Underwater?
Yeah.
Okay, con save, natural 20, and an 8.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your damage.
I got... God, these are rolling really well. 6, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to be math. 15 plus... This is 21, 27.
27. Let's see. That is... Yeah, after the damage that Odella had done to them both with the guiding bolt, the moonbeam just... You see just bubbles come up as they're just roasted from underwater. Via the moonbeam.
No glitter.
Yeah. Maybe there is, but it's probably underwater.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nobody's taken any damage yet, have they?
Yet.
No. Okay. Then I'm good.
Okay. Then it is Odella's turn. And then there's 2 guys on deck. So she's gonna shoot an Eldritch Blast at the one guy that didn't drop his weapon. That's a natural 20.
Ooh, girl.
Oh, man. So, I'll get to that in a second. So that's a D10. That's
Oh God, I just
Yep, that's 15 points of damage to that guy. Oh, wait, 2d10. Silly me. That's 20 points of damage to that guy.
spilled.
And the second one is an 18. And then another 10 points. So 30 points of damage. And then some things happen, and I don't know if Leo has ever seen this.
Mm-mm.
We'll say she moved
What?
over the ship when she hit with this Eldritch Blast.
Uh-huh.
So, let me see. I gotta see if she wrote them in here. I think she did.
I remember.
Well, I know there's at least... I gotta roll 2d6.
Mhm.
Shit. So, Leo, you watch as the blast of Eldritch energy shoots forth from Odella, as if from nowhere, but possibly from the heavens. You don't know. 2d6 gold chocolate coins rain from the sky and land on the deck.
And
And then there's also heat waves.
there's heat waves.
Well, she doesn't wear any undergarments, so that part doesn't happen.
She doesn't wear any undergarments.
What is
I forgot
happening?
one more thing.
What's the other one? I don't remember.
Actually, no, I don't think that was an ending effect. She just has that thing like going around her.
Yeah, that's always there. The little
Okay.
phoenix. It's a phoenix, right? That's flying around her head.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Oh, an extra 9 damage too, though, because of the out of the wings. Yes. Yeah.
What?
You don't know this, but Odella has a lot of things that happen from trinkets that were donated. Sorcerer trinkets from these tables are very fun, and that they do interesting things when you crit with magical attacks. And a couple of the ones that she got, one, and there's story reasons behind at least the first one. 2d6 gold chocolate coins rain from the sky.
Hanukkah gal.
So that was 11 coins.
Okay.
One of the other ones she has is her undergarments teleport 10 feet in a random direction, which happened.
no longer is
Which
aware.
happened one time, and that was enough. And another, she had like royals of heat roll off of her. But yeah, she's an Azamar, and her angelic guide is playful and fun. So this was more of a thing from when she was a child. I think he did it as like a fun thing to help cheer her up. Like when she would do good with magic, he'd rain down chocolate coins, and he still
Aw.
does it though because it's fun.
In the middle of this, Leo is freaked out. He's like, and trying all this sword and like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, all right.
Then it's Captain LaRouste's turn, and he's going to move up, and he's going to hit the one guy that you're squaring off with. He just cleaves this dude in half. And then he looks at you, and he points his sword at the other two, and because he saw like you did some magic, and then they dropped their weapons,
Mm-hmm.
and he like looks to you to ask if.
They're getting ready to run, but go by all means hit him. He gets advantage on his attacks to hit him. So
All right,
since they're feared,
They're feared.
yeah. And
Because-
this,
them getting hit doesn't end the thing.
so this guy was the one that had got blasted with the blight from before, so he takes this guy out too.
Nice.
And then it's their turn, and that other guy is just like, nope. But he would technically provoke attacks of opportunity from you and the captain.
Yay! Let's kill him.
Get him, boys!
Arrgh! So advantage on that.
Oh, yep. Still hits.
19.
7. So you do 29 points combined to this guy as he leaps off the deck into the water and swims 80 feet away. And you also know that because you moved up towards the edge of the ship, you're technically still within eyesight. So
Yeah.
he
I'm
has
looking
to
at him.
keep swimming. Just keep swimming, as it were.
I'm just clinging to the edge of the mast, like giving him evil eyes.
You also get the feeling the way you summarily dispatched his associates, he may be good with not coming back. So I saw
That's
some.
fair.
So tempted to cast Call Lightning over to him because he's still in range. But I'm not gonna.
No, it's
It's
He needs to go back and tell his friends not to fuck with us.
So, at this point, the captain, after the fight ends, he looks over to you, Leo, and he's like starting to like put two and two together. And he's like, and he's like, no, not yet. Are you? You said your name was Leo. Are you like the blue lion, Leo?
Oh, yeah, Leo the Blue Lion. If you couldn't tell, it's a pleasure to meet you.
And he's like, he says, it's funny. And he will pull out from his like, they'll like pull out from like a pouch or like a backpack. And he'd be like, we had this. There was a guy sail with us for a little while, and he was a huge fan of yours. And he pulls out and he said he was always, raving about, hearing all these great stories about your performances, and he really wanted to try to catch one live, but he was never able to. And he actually pulls out like a newspaper clipping, and he's like, he left us with one of these when we were like, he had so many of them, he left this one behind, and it's basically a review of one of your performances that's in like a newspaper, like essentially like a Neverwinter news, we'll call it. And he's like, yeah, he had so many of these like stacked up, and he was just like, yeah, and he gives it to you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I can't believe you held on to this. Thank you. This really brightened my day.
And he's just like, I mean, what are the chances, right?
No, fate is pretty cool. And I'm gonna like put my hand on his like pauldron, and you're a good guy.
He's like,
great
thanks.
fighting out there again.
He's like, yeah, well, you too. That was great. Wow. Man, hitting up the quote system. We're going some deep cuts on those quotes.
It's been so long. We haven't been using it.
Okay. And yeah, so he gives you that. And I guess apparently you also, in this process, from one of the dead marrow, why not, that had a pouch that was waterproof, I guess, you find basically a little pouch of what is essentially magician's flash paper. So when it's like, and you have nine uses of magician's flash paper.
Whoa. Awesome.
Yeah. Trinkets, guys. You should donate more flint bucks for trinkets.
These are so cool.
And I rarely say that because normally when it starts it doesn't stop, but we haven't had trinket donations in months on any stream.
Sometimes you get an animate sunflower, and sometimes you get armpit hair that grows as vines. You never know.
Like Roswin's, yeah.
Yep, it's true. Gotta trim that shit every day.
Yep. Roswin doesn't have armpit hair. She has little, like, ivy vines. That in touch with nature.
Damn.
Oh, by the way, I should say this up front, as a heads up to you guys. We're just, this whole thing, when we eventually move into the new house, which will be in the next month or two, we're gonna go through and do like a deep scouring and revive a lot of the way these systems work to try and update them. Things that we've recognized over time that could use adjustments. So be on the lookout for new options, new chat games, and maybe a magic 8-ball. You know how we have the roll a d30, we might make a roll a d100 that has 100 different options for gaining and losing flip bucks.
Let's do a pub crawl, y'all.
Yeah, why not? So also on one of these marrow, Leo, you find, and you're like, I don't know, this is kind of strange, but you find a glass slipper.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is an amazing story.
Yeah. So
start putting it on all the crewmen and women.
Yeah, I'd be like,
you,
my love. This is a sign.
Let's go here, and then Roswin, you find
Please don't make it the puppies hate you one.
Oof, that's a rough one.
I would just die. I'd create a new character.
I'm holding the glass slipper and I'm giving side eyes at Odella.
Okay, I will get you yours in a second.
Okay.
It actually works out relatively well in the little grand scheme.
This is so fun.
For trinkets are fun, guys. That's why.
Trinkets are fun.
I love.
That's why I put them in the game. Let me just make sure. Flip back here a little bit in my notes. I gotta check one thing. Cool. So, yeah, that's basically it for, I think, for the day. That was the first thing in the morning. Oh, fuck me. I rolled another one.
We're gonna fight them all!
Yeah, you basically... Alright, so I roll another one, which means we add 2. Okay, this one
so
actually...
we're just climbing up the charts.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If you get to 7, you find the plateau. I just keep rolling ones. So, like, that's the way it works, is you roll morning, afternoon, and night. If you roll a 1, an encounter happens, and then...
So, we just need to kill, like, 3 more things, and then we're gonna find it day 2. Right?
Basically, yeah. This is technically day 12 in the grand scheme of the whole overall trip. So, basically, you guys... one of the members calls out... he's got a spyglass, one of the crew members... calls out to everyone that they see a wounded man on, like, off in the distance, seemingly being pursued by a polar bear.
Whoa! We gotta go get that guy.
Maybe I could just talk to the polar bear.
Oh, that's true. You could just fly over there and talk to the polar bear.
Yeah, and, like, stay out of the range so it can't bite me. All right, I'm gonna go fly to the polar bear.
Wait, do you need... Wait, no, you shouldn't go alone.
Oh. But you guys are so slow. It's like you guys don't fly or something.
Hang on. I pull out my DOS loot.
Yeah.
And I begin to strum.
And?
As I cast fly upon myself.
Yeah, that is the thing you can do. And and I don't know if Roswin is, like... If this puts Roswin off at all, but Leo flies twice as fast as Roswin.
Boom! I fly the same speed as you to make you not feel bad.
Here, hold this rope and drag me.
Just like, whee! Yeah, zipping through the sky. That's a question. If I carried Roswin while I was flying, could I fly at that speed?
I mean, the fact that Roswin has light enough features to fly herself, I feel like probably.
Okay.
Normally, you can't carry a creature when you're flying. Like, the fly spell is the fly spell for you or a person you choose to cast it on. But the fact that you can both fly, I don't really... Like, that she can naturally do it, I feel like it's probably fine. Okay. So either way...
Fun.
The polar bear is doing, like, typical bear maneuvers. Like, this guy is clearly, like, walking away. He seems to know as he is facing... this polar bear as he is, like, stumbling backwards and, like, walking away. But he has not turned his back to the polar bear to run, which is usually the thing you don't want to do when you're facing down a bear, as that will innate the predatory instinct to chase you down. Same thing with big cats and otherwise.
101.
Right. So, but the bear is clearly, as with most bears, and Roswin, you would know this in the way nature works, if a bear is pursuing you at this point, it's not because it's curious. It's because it's hungry and it's going to eat you. Yeah. That's how that works. So you guys fly over, and where do you want to go / land in relation to all of this?
I just want to hover above it so that it can't get us, but it can hear us.
Okay. So you fly over top of this bear, and you're hovering above it, and it kind of is like, and it like turns, it looks up, and it sees you.
I can speak with animals.
Of course. And you say...
Hi, I'm Roswin.
And he just kind of like looks up at you, and he's just like, and he's still moving towards the guys.
Hey, buddy, you look kind of hungry. What if we could get you a better meal than this scrawny bastard?
And he looks up at you, and he just goes, how soon?
Pretty soon.
Like right now, because I could get this guy right now.
Do you like fish?
He goes, I love fish.
Okay. So I got you then. So we're near the water, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna drop that, and I'm gonna cast Control Water and just raise out water and just like dump it onto the surface so that a bunch of fish come out.
Okay, sure. Why not? And then he's just like, and you don't know what he's saying, but
I'm just like, good.
and he just starts like batting at the fish because they're flopping around. It's like a thing that bears do.
And I'm like, come on, guy.
Okay,
and you see that he's clearly holding a wound, like he's wounded.
Oh well,
yeah, Roswin.
I cast Cure Wounds on him.
You do, and you heal the bloody wound on him. But you don't see like a boat or anything, and he's like, so you don't know what happened, but he can't fly.
Buddy, what are you doing out here? What does he look like? What is he wearing, Ted?
He's wearing furs. He's
See, babe.
He's shorter, dark hair, broad face, light brown skin, kind of Eskimo-ish in appearance. But he starts speaking to you.
Inuit is the correct.
Inuit. I'm sorry, correct. But he's speaking to you in a language that you don't understand.
I think that Odella has comprehend languages if we take him back.
Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna look at him and be like, okay, I'm gonna pick you up and put you on my back, and we're gonna fly to our boat.
And he's just like, he's like wide-eyed pointing at the bear, and he's like pointing at you.
And I'm like pointing at me, and I'm like, thumbs up.
And he's like nodding vigorously.
Okay, and then I'm gonna pick him up on my back and
All
then
right.
fly.
Yeah, you guys pick him up and manage to get him back to the boat.
Okay.
And he's very clearly gracious the whole time.
Yeah. Captain, do you happen to speak the native language of these people by any chance, or any of your crew?
The captain doesn't, but one of the crew members does.
Oh, awesome. Hey, crew member, nameless NPC. What's your name? So sorry.
That's fine. His name is Ralph.
Ralph. Okay. Hi, Ralph. I'm sure Ralph and I have had whiskey together.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Ralph, could you maybe talk to this gentleman, see, perhaps you might know something about what we're looking for, or this settlement, or how he got stranded alone being chased by a bear?
Okay. So you see him, he takes this information, and he thinks for a little bit, and he speaks to this person that you've rescued. And then they converse a little bit, and then he will speak it back to you, and basically say that he's not part of one of the tribes that is around. That there is tribes that kind of live on this plateau that you guys are searching for. He is not part of that tribe, but he knows of it. He also says to stay. He can basically give you guys the distance and direction there, but says you probably shouldn't go there because it's dangerous.
Why?
That's all he says. But he's very thankful to be rescued. And
does he want to ride with us, or does he want to be dropped off somewhere?
Yeah, he basically would just like point to like another large ice floe, like off to the side that you can see connects to like a larger ice floe leading away, and he just like points over there.
Okay.
Leo, you want to fly this guy back?
Yeah, I mean that. No problem. Or should we go with the boat? Like, it's far.
It's not too bad now. You can easily make it over there.
I will go
within your minute of fly time.
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? All right.
It's an hour.
Is it?
It's an hour.
I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure it's an hour.
It's probably an hour. You're probably right.
I think because Saye did it in Venture Maidens the other day.
Either that or she lied to you.
Huh?
I said either that or she lied. I don't know. It's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes.
You just looked it up?
Yep. Up to 10 minutes. Concentration, 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Well,
Sawyer. There you go. Next time. No hour-long flying.
Yeah. We can go ahead. Well, let's just drive the boat over there. It's fine.
Okay.
Over there.
Yeah, that's fine. You eventually get him off there, and he waves goodbye, and he thanks you, you know, as best. You can tell what he's saying. You don't know what he's saying, but you can tell what he's saying is, you know, a thanks for your assistance. Well,
Wingapo.
yeah, basically.
Wingapo, father.
And then he heads off into the distance.
Bye. It was nice to meet you. You don't speak
Glad
this
you
language.
didn't get eaten by a bear.
Bye. We're the Belladonnas.
We're the come for pie. Oh, we should have given him a business card.
What was his favorite kind of
Now you'll never know.
Arnella's gonna be mad. We didn't give him a business card.
Oh, this is why the business almost went under when I was in charge for a month.
So yeah, basically, so that happens, and because of the information that he gave you, you get a +1 on these rolls for the next 2 days. So we're already at 4, and we only need to hit 7.
Out of what? What are you rolling?
A D6.
Oh.
I've been rolling 1s, so the table we have to hit 7 total, and you guys are at 4.
So you just need to roll a 3 or higher. 50% chance.
Correct. And there's only one other cool encounter, but
We can do it.
no, I mean you don't have to. And the other ones are potentially story, interesting stuff, but it's not as important. But more importantly than anything else is I roll a d6. I'm ignoring that one. I'm ignoring it.
You got a 1 again? No, you have to do it. Now I want to know.
Okay, I rolled a 5, so now we hit it.
Okay.
We're gonna hit it in the morning because it'll benefit you if he hits it in the morning.
Okay.
But as you all sit down to basically go to sleep for the evening on your little sailboat, little canvas tents. By the way, I didn't ask this, but there's 40 people on the boat, so I assume. But are you guys doing watches, or are you just trusting in the crew of the Frost Skimmer to keep you guys safe?
I mean, I feel like once I get my 8 hours in, like I would go take a shift, you know.
Mhm.
But I would definitely let them do it beforehand since I need my spells.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll volunteer. I'll be in their rotation to feel like one of the, I'm not better than them. I want to be on their shift rotation, whatever it is.
Rosamund needs a rest because she's making potions.
You're doing complicated things.
Yeah, my brain hurts.
With tubes and stuff.
Just with goggles, like little vials.
Sorry, I'm just reading one thing that I wrote here that makes no sense. There's like lines, scratched arrows, things in 4 different color pen.
Do you mind if I take a quick...
No, that's fine. It's actually... Well, I was gonna say that it doesn't matter if Celeste leaves for this, but that's fine. Katie can leave too.
It's fine, I can hold it.
Alright. Celeste, you run. What do you think? Go ahead. That's fine. So, Roswin, as you wake up from your 8 hours of sleep, and there are crews milling about on the ship as you're here in the frigid north, but you're fine because you have your scarf. You look out and it's beautiful. This is just it's vast, and you could feel that if you were out here by yourself, this would potentially be depressing and desolate, as it's lonely and empty out here. But at this point in time, you can see the ice peaks and the glittering of the full moon off of the water, and things just seem serene to you. And it seems to you that even though stuff is happening around, that this moment is just for you. As you look out and you look up to the moon, and you feel this connection. You feel like it's been brewing for a long time. Like a long time. And as you look up to the moon, you actually turn and see next to you a woman standing on the ship that was not there before. It's long, flowing silver hair, a silver dress, slightly, darker skin, and she's just her eyes almost the same color and brightness as the full moon you see, and she just smiles at you, and you without even needing to roll, because that's not necessary at this point, you know that she means you no harm, and you have this weird feeling that she's been sort of around and paying attention and sort of almost watching over you for a while. Probably, you think, around the time that probably started around the time that Ava left. You had a hole in your life, a potential guardian protector had left, and as one travels with that for all their life, a hole potentially needs to be filled with someone else, and you see this woman there, and she just has her hands kind of at her sides, and she just smiles as you look over to her.
Hi. Who are you? My name's Roswin.
And she just smiles, and she even chuckles a little to herself. And she says, well, and she says, I know who you are, Roswin. I've been keeping an eye over you for quite some time, and I'm glad that we're finally able to meet in a more person-to-person way. She says, I have many names. Some call me She Who Guides, others call me Our Lady of Silver, the Moon Maiden, but I always preferred Selene.
Oh, that's a really pretty name. You're really pretty. So what you doing? Wait, we met before? But not in this way. What?
And she just chuckles to herself a little, and she says, I've been keeping an eye on you. You've gone through a lot in your time, and some of these events that have happened, they shouldn't have ever happened. And I did my best to guide and provide things that you greatly enjoy when opportunities presented themselves. Errant pies or pie tins, the ability to use kitchens that weren't really there. And she just kind of chuckles to herself, and almost momentarily there's a flicker of Martha Strawberry. You think you see, but you're like, nah, that can't be her yet. Right? That's not
Ghost Mom.
Ghost Mom. And she will move up to you, toward you, slowly, respectfully. And then she will sort of like put out her hands, this as if to receive your hands. And she'll grasp your hands. And even though it's so cold out here, and she's wearing not much of any kind of material that should, keep her this warm, her hands feel so warm and so just, it just has a feeling of home, I mean, you haven't seen, unfortunately, your mom in a long time, but this is one of the, this has a reminiscent feeling of that. And she looks to you and says, she says, I have a great many gifts that I can bestow upon those like you who are good and just and who deserve these things. And while I can provide things that are more in the lines of the material, I feel like I can provide to you a gift. And she kind of stops herself, and she says, I have I have the ability to heal a great many things. And she looks at you, not breaking eye contact the entire time, clearly invested in what you think and how you feel. And she says, I can... She said, you have a wound that you should have never received. And I know you don't dwell on that, and you've grown to become such a powerful woman since then, but I can fix that. I can heal what that damage that was done to you, and I can rectify that if that's something that you wish.
Rosamund's eyes are just kind of shiny with tears, and she's just quiet for a moment, and then, without asking, just runs in for a hug.
And there's like a momentary like not expecting that, but there then immediately is a warm and loving embrace, and she kind of whispers and says, I guess that's a yes then?
Yes, please, I'd like that very much.
And you feel that as the hug kind of tightens, you feel this wash of warm energy just wash over your entire body, from the tips of your horns to the bottom of your feet. And you feel, I guess, in a way that what happened has been essentially removed, and you feel whole in that respect, a way you haven't felt in years. And she just has you in this embrace, and she will eventually, stand back and look at you, and she says, I see much besides being able to help you with a great, what happened. I feel I can provide additional strengths to you. I see a lot of myself in you, and I feel I can provide you with abilities to help protect others, and ideally protect the people you care about, and from all manner of danger. Would you... And she says, you don't have to accept, but I'd be curious if you'd be willing to... Would that be something you're interested in?
I just want to make sure people are safe.
And she'll look at you, and she'll look to the staff that you have that's been growing as you've been growing. And she looks at it and looks back at you and says, May I? And she kind of puts her hands out.
Okay, but it's like my most special thing, so just be careful, okay?
And she takes it gingerly and with just the utmost care. And looks at it, and you can kind of see, and the staff seems to, it has no rejection to her touching it. Not that you've ever really seen that on your end, but the staff is grown and made for you. And she says, well, she'll hand the staff back to you, and she'll say, I think I can provide you with exactly what you need. And she will smile at you and say, well, it's been wonderful to get to meet you and have a conversation with you. And if ever you're feeling alone or sad, or you wish to wonder if I'm here or looking, just look to the moon. I'm always here.
Okay. Are you sure you have to leave, though? Because, this is really nice, and I think that maybe we could be friends if you want to just, hang out.
And she chuckles to herself, and she says, as much as I would love to stay, there is many things that I need to attend to, but I'm always around, and I hope to be able to stop by again.
Okay, well, one more thing. And she's just gonna druid craft like a little flower crown of jasmine and be like, it's stupid, but like...
And she takes it and she says, no, it's perfect. And she puts it on her head. And she kind of like softly caresses your cheek. And then as you look down and look back up, it's gone.
Oh, she was fucking gorgeous.
What?
Oh.
Nobody else saw that, right?
Nope, everybody else was asleep.
Okay.
So,
kind of sits at the edge of the boat and kicks her feet and just kind of looks up.
right, so the next morning comes around. And Roswin, you feel something that you've been harping on me, Katie, for so long about. An increase in... you notice that the head of your staff starts to take on a more crescent moon-like shape, as we discussed way back in the day, like 2 years ago. And the base of the staff, the kind of ball at the end of the staff itself, has taken on a more nettle-like appearance, with, sort of small spike-ish like nature. And step one on this list of what happens is that can be used, still using the bonuses that you have for your staff, that can be wielded as a mace that does all the normal stuff your staff does, but that does an additional 1d6 lightning damage.
Ooh.
Also, Moonbeam does not hurt your allies anymore.
It's what I've always wanted.
Ooh, that's great news.
And because apparently I moved this up, enemies, I guess I moved this up. Sure, why not? All right. This was originally at level 12, but I guess this is now at level 9 according to my math. Which, whatever, you get that now because that's what I said. So enemies, as long as they remain in your moonbeam, are also subjected to the effects of fairy fire.
Ooh, that's cool.
That is amazing.
And there's another cantrip I was going to give you, which I probably will do, but I'll have to get you the information for that.
Okay, and for the fairy fire thing, they still have to roll for it, right?
No.
No?
No.
What?
If enemies are within your fairy fire or your moonbeam radius, as long as they remain in it, if you move it off of them, it ends.
Yeah, sure.
But as long as they are within the radius of moonbeam, they are considered to be under the effects of fairy fire wreathed in a silver light.
Oh, Leo, get in that shit!
Yeah, I'm gonna get in there now, I can.
Yes.
Yeah. So exciting.
So that happened.
Okay, can I go run and pee now?
Yes, absolutely.
So what cool stuff happens to Leo when he's awake, huh?
Leo, make me a what's better for you, wisdom or intelligence?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. They're both the same.
Cool. Do you have investigation or perception?
Perception is actually better than investigation.
All right, so make me a perception check at advantage.
Okay. Okay, nice. 24.
So, while you're awake, hanging out, as you guys are waiting, and you eventually do see on the horizon this plateau as you guys are approaching towards it.
Nice.
And it is a large ice plateau rising out of the sea, basically a floating island, and you notice as you're reading through the article that there's actually a little scrawling on the article. Ooh. And it says, and it seems strange, right? But it basically has a little, like, it's addressed to you, Leo. It says Leo, comma, and it says, I hope to catch one of these performances for myself. It has a dash, and it says Dad.
What? Wait, what? Wait, yep. What? No.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to wake up the captain immediately. Be like, the guy who gave you this, what did he look like? What?
He's like, and the captain's like, and he like pulls up his hood real quick to get a good glimpse of the face, the blackened scar.
No,
I know you don't care, but this is for me, Celeste.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
no,
anyway.
Like Leo doesn't care.
I know.
Oh.
And he's like, I'm sorry. What?
This is very, very important. The man who gave you this.
Yes.
What did he look like?
And he looks at you, and he's all right. And he said, "Oh, I don't know." He said, "I didn't think. I mean, he was definitely handsome. That's for sure."
Okay, then it's real.
And he's just like, I don't know. He had dusty, dirty blonde hair. He had a beard.
Okay. Was he human? Human? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
And
what was he doing on your boat?
He just booked passage. We were heading from Waterdeep up north, and he booked passage from Waterdeep up to 10 Towns and said he was gonna head south from there to Neverwinter. That was maybe, I don't know, 3 years ago.
Huh.
His name was James, if that helps.
James?
Yeah.
Okay.
James. Good. Catch a last name.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. And I'm just staring at the paper, like, sorry to wake you up.
And he's like, no. And you hear one of the shipmates yell out that they see, this plateau.
Okay.
So
Leo tucks the sheet of paper close to his heart, like on his inside pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dad.
Here come the daddy issues.
Oh, so many daddy issues.
Oh, in spades.
Yes. So, you guys are all rejoined on the deck. As you see, coming into sight is this massive ice plateau. Essentially a big floating island. And you, based on the description that you were given from the ice hunter that you rescued, this seems to be the one. So, let's see here. Basically, Captain LaRusta will tell you that he wants to keep himself and the crew aboard the ship, rather than marching up to the plateau. That's not really their jam. He's really not comfortable leaving the ship here without, a decent complement of guards. And if you're, he'll send Ralph with you, though, to communicate.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Ralph.
But he said, and I don't know how this is I don't know what you're expecting really to find when you get here, but if we need to make a quick escape,
Fair enough.
We'll be ready. So, essentially, you guys see this massive, and they kind of will come up, run ashore as best they can. And yeah, there's a, let's see, an ice chasm splits the cliff face above the ice shelf, rising to the top of the plateau. Chasm is 20 feet wide near the bottom, and narrows to 5 feet at the top. Steps are cut into the ice, making for an easy climb to the top of the plateau.
Nice.
is that I'm assuming where you guys are going to
Yeah.
head.
Go ahead up there. I mean,
Gonna go up there grinning like an idiot.
Occam's razor.
And you can see off in the distance that there are some kind of nearby here. There are some boats that are kind of pulled up along here. There's a shelf, and you can see several boats here. The shelf's about 60 feet across. It's a few feet above sea level, and is littered with enormous cracked bones, including ribs that arch taller than a human.
Can I like?
Roswin can make me a nature check. Actually, you know what? Roswin, you just can.
I did it.
These are the bones of very large whales and huge seals.
I wanted to meet a whale, and this is not how I wanted to meet them.
Do you have animate dead? Oh my god, can we have a dead whale that follows us around?
Well, it's not in such a way that it's enough.
No.
You'd need a cleric for that anyway.
Clerk.
Or a wizard. I guess Odella could, but she didn't have that spell.
Fine. Let's go. Let's go say hi to the natives and ask them where Weird Tiefling is.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys disembark. Do you go over near the bones at all, or just up the side of the cliff?
I kind of want to check out the bones. I'm
Okay.
a little
You
curious.
can look at the bones.
Like, are they like they washed up? Or did they get dragged in? Did the natives eat them? Like, what was kind of like cause of death? Is
Are they
basically what it was.
decoration?
So after a few minutes of examining this, there are gigantic tooth marks, as if something with a monstrous bite radius had dealt damage to this.
Roll for dragon.
Examining the bones reveals smaller human bones in the pile as well, which show similar bite marks.
Dragon.
So,
Dragon.
you guys begin to ascend the cliff, the icy steps in the cliff. So,
I'm making sure all my weapons are away and we're looking like as non-threatening as possible.
okay. So
I
you
just let
guys,
my butterflies fly free.
they are flying all about, flittering even. So, as you guys rise to the top of this plateau, it is a plateau, but it is not flat and level. Ground is uneven. There are fractures by narrow ice chasms divided by rills and snowdrift, ice ridges. Some are taller than you guys are, sculpted by sea spray and wind. The ridges kind of eventually, like as they're coming through, so you don't have like a clear sight over the entirety of the ice plateau, so you can't see everything. Also, there is still, it's still kind of got that wintry fog, if you will, where like it's cold out, so you can still see relatively far, but if a snowstorm were to pick up, you may lose all visibility. Anyway, you guys continue onward, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you guys make your way towards, I guess, basically the center, right? The largest central mass of this plateau, I think would make the most sense. So you
Wherever a village
guys,
could shelter, yeah.
you guys come across 10 corpses frozen in a wall of ice. 3 seemingly warriors, a dwarf, and 6 people that look similar in nature to the guy you rescued. These bodies seem to be preserved perfectly in this ice, making it impossible to tell how long they've been here.
Can we see, like, does the dwarf stand out as like weird, or is that like normal?
You're a tiefling, a human, and an Azamar here, so, what is normal, right?
Probably me, the human.
I guess, yeah. Alright, fair.
Pretty normal.
I'm
Human
pretty normal.
daddy issues, pretty normal.
My dad left me this note. Leo's all moody now. Are they like stood up like they've been arranged in this wall, or does it look like a wall of ice was cast and they happen to be like running away or in the middle of a fight?
Make me a investigation check.
Guidance.
Sure.
+1.
Cool. A 10. I
Okay.
don't do investigation. You want a knowledge check of some kind. That would be
The
excellent.
weird. What did you roll? Did you roll?
10.
And did Roswin roll? Or no?
I cast guidance on her, but if I can,
okay.
I would like to.
Yeah, sure. You know what? Odella got a natural 20.
Oh. Damn it! Outshining my
well.
18.
Well then.
So basically, you can tell that it's an interesting display, right? This setup here, and the three warriors that are there are not of the same. They don't look to be the same as the ice hunters. They're clearly different garb.
Okay.
And yeah, they all seem to be kind of frozen in this wall of ice. And that's the first thing that greets you as you move through here.
Cool. That's intimidating.
Mm-hmm. Do you continue?
I'm gonna stealth.
Okay.
I don't care.
They're gonna be able to see us from.
I'm nervous.
That's fair.
Well, if you want to fly up ahead, and I mean, we can draw their attention down below here.
Okay.
Or like if you go up into the fog, they probably won't be able to see you.
Sure. I'll leave the party.
Just hover like above us.
Okay.
So if you see something coming, give the signal. Scream
What's the
pie. Throw a pie from the air at our feet. It's a great signal.
First of all, it's horrible that you think I'd waste pie like that. Second of all,
Fair.
we're gonna go with caca.
Excellent.
I guess I'll go. How far should I go? Like 30, 40 feet up?
I don't know.
I'm not
Up to you.
asking you 10.
Fair.
I'll go 30 feet up.
Yeah, so you can get to us in a round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, it's these different ridges that are there. It's as you fly up, you kind of these ridges go for at least another like 200 feet.
I fly back down.
As far as you
Go
can
for
see.
At least another 200 feet.
Then let us go.
I fly back up.
Okay, so as you guys begin to move through this area, as you get about 200 feet further into this plateau, past this wall of frozen people, you see that there's actually a village here on the top of this iceberg.
Perfect.
So it seems to be sheltered near towards the center, as we assumed. Thankfully, but the way these ridges are set up, it sort of is almost protecting the area as though there's like the ridges sort of are like a break wind that cause the air to sort of circle around the village to kind of protect it from prying eyes. As you guys saw, you had to get this much closer to see it, but it seems to be relatively protected from the wind. You see about 20 structures make up this village, divided between snow block shelters similar to igloos and double-walled yurts with sealskin stretched over with whalebone frames. 16 of these structures seem to be small, like you'd guess one family structures. And there's one significantly larger yurt near the center of the village.
We should probably go there.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving in.
Okay.
We
You
gotta
come
ask
back-
these people what they know, or if they know anything about this tiefling.
Are you still up, or are
No,
you
I'm
coming
gonna
back
fly
down?
down
Okay.
once I see that it's just a village.
So as you guys move in towards the town, and you start making your way in, you start hearing barking and growling. And as you guys make your way further, you see that there are basically sled dogs, essentially, there that are barking, drawing attention to the fact that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, puppies.
And as that starts happening, it starts to draw the attention of the villagers, and people start pouring out of igloo-type structures and yurts. 25 people come out. It seems to be a mixture of male and female, and they're listed here as tribal warriors, if you will. About 30 children. One of them seems to be in more finery to guess that he's probably more higher ranking. One significantly larger, bulky ass dude, and one kind of spindly woman with a staff.
Okay. As they come out, I would like to bow to the woman with the staff first, and then to the other two notable figures, and like have a peaceful gesture with my hands.
Okay.
Yeah. What's this guy? What's the guy who speaks? Ralph.
Yes.
Ralph. Could you tell them that we mean no harm to them? We are merely travelers looking for a lost companion.
So Ralph kind of like goes, and you notice that the one gentleman as well as the woman step forward, and then like Ralph's like, "Oh, okay. Maybe you guys step up here too." Like he was like going out to greet them.
Oh no, I'll move.
Okay. So, basically, he kind of greets them in their tongue, and they say some words back to him. And let's see. The other as you guys are having this conversation, the other members of the tribe kind of like circle around you guys, and the dogs are growling. And you see that like 8 of the warriors kind of leave the area, like as everybody's starting to circle around. And they seem to have like a weird, like they're eyeing Odella, like something's up with her. They're not seem to be a huge fan of Odella for whatever reason. Like they're throwing some shade Odella's way.
She's so pretty.
Yeah, you're not sure why.
Huh. Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
Guidance. Let's do.
What's their intention here? Okay, 17.
You get the feeling that they may not be a fan of essentially the type of magic that she wields. And you get the feeling, Roswin and Leo, that this woman here, the shamanistic type woman, seems to be more along the lines of like a druid, which you feel like may be why they're not a huge fan of Odella. Seems to wield the arcane. That may be bugging them.
Oh, I'm gonna whisper to Roswin. I think she's a druid. If maybe. I'm like, do you guys have a club or?
I will bow my head and druid crafts, like a bright green flower or something that you wouldn't normally see here, and offer it to her.
She sees your magic, and she seems to not be opposed to the magic, but they seem to just be. And when Ralph is trying to like have this conversation with them, waiting for their response, he kind of like whispers to you guys. He's like, they're usually not too keen on outsiders.
Yes, we're getting that. I
so,
smile.
But he says they're almost never hostile.
This is what I do when I don't speak the language.
Gotcha. So, basically, they kind of speak to him, and they say, they basically asked, they said that you're not allowed in the village.
That is fine. We are merely seeking a woman who passed through here some kind ago. She's a tiefling. She looks quite a lot like my friend here. She traveled here on a ship with some scholars and warriors and disappeared from that point on. This would have been about 3 years ago. Do you have any knowledge of where she might be, or did any of you see her?
So, and Ralph will dictate that to them. And they kind of converse together. And they kind of come back, and Ralph's like, they say they haven't seen anybody like that.
Do you believe them, Ralph?
And he goes, I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of them, and I'm terrified.
That is fair.
And I need Roswin and Odella and Leo to make perception checks.
Okay.
Oh shit! There goes my D4. Okay. Here's my
I'm gonna use a luck reroll
There you go.
on that natural one.
8 plus
Here we go.
is 12 plus 9, 21.
I also got a 21.
Ooh!
So as these conversations and this stare down is going on, eventually the chief speaks up and talks to Ralph, and when it's clear that you are persistent in your questioning,
Yes.
you do notice that every so often, whether it's a child or an adult, people slowly begin to disembark from this area from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly. But the chief says, basically through Ralph, that if you pick a champion to face off against our champion, and your champion is able to win, then you have earned the right to stay in our village. If you lose and their champion wins, you must hand over your fine steel weapons and sail away immediately, never to return.
Oh, but you have a really fine steel weapon.
I do. Who is this champion?
And they point to
The bulky guy.
this bulky guy who you learn through Ralph. His name is Orca Heart.
Okay, that's terrifying.
Mhm.
What are the rules of this duel before we accept?
Duel.
All right, so no magic is allowed, but if you possess any magic weapons or magic armor with no obvious effects, they're probably gonna not notice that. It's a one-on-one. Fight continues until one contestant is unconscious. At that point, the match ends, and each combatant's allies can step in to provide healing and assistance.
Nice.
During the fight, a combatant forfeits if he or she gains assistance of any kind from allies. Yeah, that is pretty much it.
Okay, well, Leo was clearly born for this. So let's go.
Okay.
I accept your challenge and I bow.
Okay.
Go Leo!
So,
Yes.
let me get his...
So no obvious magic, huh?
Correct. Like,
Okay.
if you had, like, a flame-tongue longsword, they might not be cool with that.
Okay. Are they gonna be cool with my blade?
They should be. It doesn't seem to radiate... doesn't seem to be overtly magical.
Yep.
Okay. Now where...
Yo, I'm so excited.
This is your
I
moment.
I
Sarah.
thought
Fight
you
this
would be.
guy.
I wish I could help.
That's okay. It's better this way.
It's better.
Let me just see, because I'm trying to figure out his...
Rosalind looks at Odella and she's like,
Ah.
I didn't even bring my sign making kit.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm not gonna have any foam fingers.
No. What do I have?
That's sad. That's okay.
No.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
All right,
I'm gonna
so...
kill this guy. I'm not gonna
start
kill
whittling
this
a trophy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Can you druid craft me a trophy? Do I get a flower crown if I win, please?
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Make like the golden leaves, like the
Yes.
All right,
Very
so
like Caesar.
I need you to roll for initiative.
Oh hell yeah. All right, not great. A 10.
Okay. He is going to get a 14. So it's going to go him, and then Leo. So he approaches. Basically, they move back and they kind of give you like an area to fight in. And you see that he has a spear and a shield. And he's going to come at you with that. And he's going to jab out with his spear. And that is a 12. And
Okay.
he's going to jab out with his spear again, and that's a natural 1.
All right. As he misses me, I'm gonna expend a point to do a riposte.
Okay.
All right. So I get to make a melee attack against him
Mm-hmm.
in response to him missing me, and then that will be a 16.
That would hit, but he swirls his spear around, he parries away your riposte.
Ooh.
And
I
then
love
at
it.
the onset of that, he jabs out at you with his spear for a 25.
He has 3 attacks.
Yes, he
I
does.
love it. Love this.
And then he will, I'm assuming a 25 hits, if I recall.
Yeah.
So then he will deal to you. That is 9 points of piercing damage.
All right, let's go.
That is your turn.
Okay, sweet. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to attempt a trip attack.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so that'll be a 19.
That hits.
All right, great. So 19, so I'm going to need him to make a strength saving throw.
You got an 18.
Damn it!
So as you go to
this
trip
guy.
him, his legs like a mountain, and you just crack into him with your sword, and he takes the damage clearly as you hit him with the sword, but he's able to power through.
Okay, so let me go ahead and roll my normal damage then. Fine. Lame. Okay. Wait, where'd my D8 go? The most important one.
It's true.
For me, yeah. All right, that'll be 12 plus 6, so 18 plus 6 force damage.
Damn. All right, nice strike. So that was 1 attack.
Yep, and I'm gonna do it again.
All right.
Okay, 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. All right, so that'll be 13 slashing. And then 1 force.
Okay.
And I'm gonna action surge and do it all over again, baby.
Oh man, this is very reminiscent of the Civil War battle that we had on Sunday, where we had Captain America fight Iron Man.
Yes! That'll be
Didn't
a 19.
Yeah, that hits. Did not go so well for Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because Cap was just like, bing, 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 action surge. Hit him 3 more times.
Leo is more of a Captain America.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be 12 slashing. Plus 4 force.
All right.
And hit him again. Okay, 23. All right.
This is so good.
And that'll be 7 plus 6, so a 13.
All right.
Plus my force, just 1.
Okay. All right. So he stands up on his turn, and then
wait, he didn't get tripped.
Oh, he didn't. You're right, he didn't. So he doesn't. He just stays there. So then he reaches out with his shield and he just bashes you across with the shield for a natural 20.
Not the face,
boy.
So you are gonna take 3, 6, 9, 13 points of bludgeoning damage. I need you to make me a strength saving throw.
Okay. Strength, you say? Yes?
I do say.
I love it. A 22.
Oh shit! All right, so that's fine. So then he throws the shield away and pulls the spear 2 hands, and he goes to stab at you.
Ooh, versatile, baby.
And that's gonna miss, and that's a
Leo
20.
is so hype right now.
And
He's
that is
like smiling and bleeding.
That's a 26.
Yeah.
And that is gonna deal
This
20 points of damage.
Woo-wee. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to do some math. Let me get my phone calculator.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but in the meantime.
Then it is your turn.
Okay, sweet. All right. Well, these maneuvers are not doing great for me today, but let's go ahead and... All right, I'm gonna try a menacing attack.
Okay.
So... Natural 20, baby!
That'll hit.
I love it! Okay, and then make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay, he has advantage.
He's not... What?
He has advantage on saving throws versus fear. Because he's a gladiator.
I'm a gladiator!
Yeah, but you're not an NPC. So that is a 17.
That meets.
He's not frightened. But go ahead and roll your 2d8 for your weapon, 2d4, and then 2d8 for the menacing attack extra. So that's 4d8 plus 2d4.
Fuck him up!
That's gonna suck for him real bad.
Okay, so the first 2d8s were 11.
Okay.
Plus a 12.
Oh, here we go. All right.
And then the 2d4s, you said?
Yeah,
Wait,
and then
no,
your
force is d6.
Oh, is it d6? Then 2d6. My bad.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Sorry, I thought it was a d4. My bad.
Okay, and then 5.
Plus your modifier and all that stuff.
Oh, yes. Right. That will be plus another 6.
He does not look good, but he takes it, and then he spins his spear back, and he goes for 3 more.
I got one more attack.
Oh, you do have one more attack. Shit.
Stop
That
it,
was just
Ted.
one. That was just one. He's like,
That was just one.
oh no, what's he gonna do?
Okay, an 18.
Yeah, because he
Hit?
threw the shield away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he threw the if he kept the shield, it would have missed.
I am making this last strike non-lethal. I don't want to kill him.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that is going to be 14 slashing damage,
Alrighty.
and then 4 force damage.
Alright. So
And just for good measure, I'm gonna use on my bonus action to the thing that gets me health back.
second wind.
Yes.
So he goes down, he hits the ground, he seems to be unconscious, but the second he hits the ground, he starts, you're like, and he like peeks an eye open, and he's like, and he gets up as if he rolled a natural 20 on a death saving throw.
Oh God.
So he's got 1 HP, but he's going for it.
I love it.
So first strike is a 10. Second.
I'm gonna riposte.
All right. Shit. Well, you better hit,
I know. I'm working on it.
because that next hit's a natural 20. So.
I know. That's a 21.
Yep, that hits. So he goes to jab at you, he misses, and you just hit him with the flat of your blade, and he goes unconscious.
KO.
Because his next strike was a natural 20, and the following strike would have missed. But
A natural.
which would have
That did a lot of damage.
which would have done, let's just figure it would have been 12, 15, 27, it would have been 32 points on the next strike if he'd hit.
I chose my maneuvers well.
Yeah, for real. Excellently done. So
Yes.
you can see that there's like, and then you go in, and their people go in to extract him, and you're able to back up, and you watch.
I cast heal on you.
Thank you.
And you watch as the woman, the shaman, heals him as well.
60 points.
Before I get dragged off to heal, I make sure to bow to everyone, and I raise my sword victoriously as I look around at the crowd.
Okay.
And I sort of roar because I can't help it.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
That's who I am.
I look at our little companion guy. I can't think of the name of. And I'm just like,
Ralph?
"This is Ralph," and I'm like, it's this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh wow. Yeah, he took me down to half.
All right, that's pretty
He
good for
did
him.
45 points of damage. Yeah.
They offer to basically they will honor their pledge, and they offer to let you sleep in the storage hut.
Okay.
I love a good storage
I
hut.
love a good storage.
And the woman who you learn through the conversation's name is Bone Carver,
Ooh.
the shaman. She brings you a platter of slightly spoiled raw fish, explaining that her people prefer the tanginess of the meat when it's gone past its prime.
Can I make an insight check?
Yeah.
She trying to do that thing to tourists because they think they're hilarious. Okay, 22.
You do believe that she is truthfully saying that her people do like the tanginess of spoiled fish.
Fermented fish.
Hey, wingman, can you just like check this out? I'm
Okay.
gonna die if I eat this.
So she leaves that, and then she leaves, and basically they will leave you guys to
But wait, I want to give her a present.
oh, okay, you give her a present.
since things look kind of shitty here, Rosalind will give her her spoon that makes 1.5 food.
Okay.
Like, a gift for your people.
And Ralph will kind of explain it, and then she will take it and nod, and she'll leave.
I love giving presents.
So
I'm gonna eat a good berry instead of eating the fish.
yeah, when she leaves, Wingman will basically like hiss at this fish and knock it on the floor.
Oh. Okay, wait, that means it's like poison. Oh.
Shit.
Uh,
Everybody gets a good berry.
Yeah, I mean, good barrel heal for 1 point, but it does count as sustenance for the day.
Leo is really, really mad. He just did this challenge and expected safe lodging, and then this food is poison. I think, okay. Oh, yeah, he's a mad boy. Okay, he's gonna pick up the tray and, like, open the door as the woman comes in after, and he's going to throw it onto the ground, like,
Okay.
at her.
Yeah, make me a strength check.
I'm not trying to throw it at her.
Oh, okay,
like,
alright. Then
at her
you
feet.
symbolically throw it
Yeah.
at her feet. And she stops and turns to look at you.
Uh-huh. And I don't know if the guy's there, but this is not the hospitality of any valiant tribe or group of people. What is your intention here?
Make me a persuasion check?
Sure.
Let's do.
I'm great at these. I'm gonna use luck root. Okay, that's much better. That's a 26.
Okay. She'll basically explain to Ralph, and Ralph will tell you that she says that she'll meet you later and tell you after dark. She can't talk now.
You better give her that fucking spoon.
It wasn't her idea.
She said that?
Yes.
Okay, Leo takes a calming breath and nods and puts his hand on his sword in a way that's like, I will
kill you, yeah. Got it.
No, I will kill you, but more of like a, well, if you throw anything else at me, I've got a big sword, and you just saw what I did out there.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go sit back in the shed, moodily.
Okay. You do that. So, basically, you guys are there, and you guys can hang out for a while, basically. I don't know, what do you guys do when you're there for like a couple hours?
Definitely take a short rest, because I'm missing some stuff.
Okay.
While he's like dozing a little bit, she's just kind of like, I met the prettiest lady. Her name was Sailor Moon?
Sailor Moon?
Sailor Moon?
Is that what you said?
Saloon.
Oh, Saloon. I see. Yes.
Yeah. You've met her too?
No, she's a pretty popular god, though. I mean.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, she was super nice. Do you see my staff? She made it different. And she had hair like moonlight.
It's beautiful. Leo does not notice anything. He's like, I didn't look at it that much before. Okay. Did you use a healing spell on me, or am I just...
She cast heal, so you got 60 HP.
Yeah.
Damn, thank you.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
crap.
what I'm here for.
He definitely pretends like he loves your new staff.
It's so pretty.
And totally notices a difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. So wait, you talked to a god?
I guess. I mean, she didn't say she was, but she just was like super nice. Like, if she ever comes by, like, I should call you out because, like, she, everybody should hang out with her. I think that she could have a lot of friends if she really tried. But she seems a little like, that person who, like, comes to a party but then, like, leaves early. She kind of, like, did one of those. But that's okay.
Gods are busy, I hear.
I don't know. But I liked her. Hopefully she'll come by again. Maybe I'll make her a pie. I didn't ask what her favorite pie was. Fuck!
This is the first... Does Roswin say that?
Yeah.
This is the first time I think you may have ever heard Roswin curse. And Odella's like...
She's been cursing a little bit more.
I know, a little bit, yeah.
I'm sure you'll see her again. Just, send it off in your dreams or something. God's...
Dream a pie and send her a dream pie.
Gods are like that.
You sound really stupid right now.
That's fine. I'm tired and I tried to get poisoned. I'm gonna hug Wingman to me.
Best
It's a
300
good
gold
cat.
ever spent. Good job, Wingman.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh my god. I never thought this would actually be useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys would have taken 3d8 poison damage if you fail to save, and then you go unconscious for 8 hours.
Oh shit.
They were trying to roofie us. Holy shit.
Well, who knows where you
Why?
would have ended up? I don't know.
I know.
Maybe you'll find out later.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's wait for this old biddy come back.
So
Explain herself.
night descends upon this plateau, and you see under the clear, moonlit sky, you hear like a knocking on the outside of it.
Mm-hmm. Let her in.
And you let her in, and she's like very clearly nervous that hopefully nobody saw her.
Okay.
And
Yeah, close the door behind her.
okay. Yeah, so basically she will, in so many words, because I'm not going to roleplay her talking to somebody and then him telling it to you, but basically the gist of what you get from this is basically she wanted you guys to leave, and she also wants her people to leave, basically. She knows that the white dragon is watching, and she thinks that it's only a matter of time before all of her people die to the dragon. His whim whenever he decides to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
She has long dreamed that the totem spirits, and she's got a very animalistic totem iconography on her staff and things, that the animal spirits would send heroes with the strength to best the dragon. And she says, she's not willing to risk the lives of her people to fight this dragon. She knows there's an entrance to the cavernous underground where the dragon resides beneath this very plateau. And she knows there's a entrance in her hut that leads into these caves.
Whoa.
And she can kind of give you a general layout, just kind of scrawl it out in the ice and the snow on the ground, and tell you a little bit about what's down there, and that there's the presence of the horned lady.
And I point at Roswin. She's like, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So the tiefling's down there. We did it! Wait, is she alive though?
She'll basically, last she knew, she's downstairs and the dragon's also there.
Have you met her? Is she fine? Is she hanging out with the dragon? Because white dragons aren't very there, It's not
and you see Ralph struggling to explain Roswin speak to this shaman. And basically she doesn't know. She tries not to go down there. But she knows that she was there and she was alive. She also knows that there's basically, she describes them as ice toads. They are they're down there, and basically they are let's see here. They are the size of a human. They are light blue in skin tone, and they appear to be essentially intelligent. They do have seemingly some kind of language, and they are basically large toad people.
Wow.
Do they like have allegiance with the dragon? Is it like a symbiotic relationship? What's going on with that?
She knows that there's a whole bunch of them down there.
Mm.
Lady! No, I'm kidding.
So those people we saw outside your village, did the dragon do that?
Yes. She'll basically tell you yes, that the 3 warriors and the dwarf came with the horned lady.
Oh.
And the, let's see. The ones that look like her people, they tried to flee the plateau, and he killed them and made them put them up there as a warning.
Well,
how often does the dragon come out? Because from what I know about dragons, it's not good to try to beat them up in their own home.
And she says he has to. She says sometimes we see him. They see him flying by, but they don't know how he exits, because the entrance that she has is barely big enough for them.
mm-hmm.
So he must have another way out.
Okay. Well, lady, thank you for coming to us with this information. We will do what we can for yours and this village. Perhaps this dragon will not have to torment you much longer.
And she seems genuinely, excited at the thought of this.
I feel bad for throwing the poison fish at her. Though she kind of deserved it.
You would know, Roswin, that white dragons they're not amphibious by any means, so they can't breathe underwater, but they're not affected by cold at all, and they have no problems climbing across any kind of icy or snowy surface. So potentially there's either an external exit here, but there could also be one underwater.
Mm.
And you could get out that way.
Gotcha.
And
I will relay all of this information to my party.
And she basically does bow and thank you so much, and she's she basically somewhat as apologizes and says that it was the chief's idea.
I take her little gnarled hands and I give her a warm, and of course you did what you had to do.
And she said that the chief wanted her to try to sneakily heal Orcahart during the fight.
Oh
and
my
she
gosh.
didn't.
Oh, this chief sucks, and she's a great old lady.
And
Why
she
are
tells
you manipulating Grandma? God,
she tells you that the chief's name is Barking Seal.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Is that what people call him behind the back, or is that his actual name?
What a jerk. I'm not doing this for that guy. I'm doing this for
This sweet little
Bone Carver.
Yeah, I know. A super
Which is
not
horrible
menacing name.
I was so
Yeah.
upset because I fucking love that stupid spoon. And
Yeah.
I was like, we got almost poisoned immediately after giving it up. And I was like, I swear to God, if I've saved it for this long.
Well, it was the DC 15 con save, so it wasn't like it was too bad. Unfortunately, you guys didn't know to drink your ewer ahead of time
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
for advantage on your poison there.
No.
Like, you were in.
It's okay. Wingman got this.
Yeah, he did. That was great.
Meanwhile, my Almirage is just sitting there being useless.
I mean, it's a bunny unicorn.
It's
It
a
doesn't.
bunny unicorn. That's it.
It doesn't have any.
It's so cute.
Yeah. It. I think you can get one as a familiar, but it's as, you know, there's better uses for familiars.
Yeah, for sure.
Like an owl, the most
Alright.
useful. So.
So we're gonna go down to these caves.
Yeah, she is taking you guys. She leads you guys out, and she kind of is like, she doesn't want anybody else to know.
I'll try to sneak
Okay.
because I'm really good at that. Disadvantage.
Guidance. +4.
Okay.
Whatever you got.
So that'll be a 4 plus.
Are we speaking right now?
Well, she's trying to just tell you to be quiet as you're moving across from your area to her
Oh.
her place.
I got it 10.
Oh boy.
With a +4?
Oh, a +4. I got it 12.
How'd you go from 10 to 12?
I thought you said +2.
Oh.
She said +4.
Okay. Then it's a 12.
I didn't do that much.
Odella got a natural 1.
I got a 13.
Oh, Ralph. Can't forget Ralph.
Good old Ralph.
Ralph
Is
got a-
really
Boy.
coming with us?
What?
Is he really coming to these caverns with us?
Oh, and he's like, if you need to talk to anybody
Yeah.
between then and here, like, you guys are screwed without him.
We
He
can
doesn't
leave
say
them
it in
at
that
the
way,
top.
but
Yeah.
We'll just throw money at them. That's how we communicate nowadays.
all right. So Ralph will stay behind then.
No, we're bringing Ralph. We gotta
Okay.
bring Ralph.
If Ralph dies,
Bringing a
it's
Ralph
on
to a
you,
dragon
know.
fight.
I will not let Ralph die.
All
That's
right.
what you say
This
now,
I
one
swear.
breath weapon.
So Odella got a big old 3. What would you roll? What did you roll, Katie, for her?
Oh, for guidance for her?
Yeah.
I rolled a 4 again.
I'll go a big old 7.
Wow.
For
I had
Odella.
13.
We are sneaky.
We're arguing about Ralph coming or staying.
and
on the way
then
there.
yeah, basically as you're walking over, and she's like trying to get you guys to stay quiet as you traverse this open plateau towards, you know, her hut. And as you guys are making your way, you basically see people you as you're making your way, trying to be stealthy as the wind is whipping in the night sky, you hear like an exclamation from over towards a different one of the yurts, and you see standing outside of the yurt, pointing, is Chief Barking Seal.
Okay, I'm gonna cast suggestion.
Okay.
Wait, what is he doing?
hang on.
I should listen to you first before I do things.
Well, let's hang on. As we learned the last time, suggestion. Do they need to be able to
the
understand
language
you?
thing. You're right. I'm
Sometimes, suggestion, blah blah blah. That can hear and understand you.
listening. Okay, are you gonna still make me gonna cast it? Because I said
No,
it one
because you
time.
did this once before and learned that didn't work.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Claire. Love you too. So yeah, you learned that you're about to, and you're like, I remember when this happened last time and it didn't work.
Dang it.
So, and you see him point at Bone Carver, and he yells. And Ralph translates it as traitor. And then a smile comes across his face. And then...
Ralph's face?
No,
Oh.
Chief Barking Seal. And then he says something, and then smiles, and goes back into his hut.
What did he say, Ralph?
And he said it won't matter for long. As you hear...
Oh,
And over one of the cliffs nearby, you hear an epic roar split the scene as you see on top of one of the mountains staring down at you, frost emanating from its maw is a massive white dragon. I need everybody to make me a wisdom saving throw. Unless you're immune to fear.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I got a 21.
Let's see.
I think that should be good.
17.
No, actually, you're good with the 17.
Whew.
You're good, obviously, Katie. Oh, Della is fucking terrified.
Odella!
Bone Carver is terrified. And Ralph's like, shit, that's a fucking dragon. He's not terrified, but he's also terrified because he's like a guy.
Is cool as hell.
He can hang out with us whenever.
Yeah, Ralph.
Yeah, well, Ralph may not make it much longer.
Go inside. And then I'm like,
so-
Ralph, please translate.
She's petrified with fear.
I'm gonna
As
pick her
is
up.
Yeah, Leo, get
bone
her
cover.
granny ass inside.
Yeah, I'm picking
as
up
the
Granny.
creature begins to descend on its way towards you, clearly coming that way. I need everybody to roll for initiative. Or we could just pick this up next time because it's close to time here.
No, dragon fight!
I think we need to wait. I can't even get into this right now.
Oh God! I'm
Well,
so
Celeste,
excited.
you finally are getting what you wanted.
I know. I got to duel somebody, and I'm gonna fight a dragon.
I'm gonna fight a dragon.
Yeah. So
That's
Arathator,
awesome.
the Old White Death, legendary worm of the North, has descended upon you on his home turf.
Oh boy, this is gonna
Although
be
this
nasty.
is technically not his lair. His lair is underground.
Thank
That's
God.
good.
That's good at least.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hey, you can fly.
What?
You can fly if you need to get up to him.
I can.
It's just raining down how.
Although fly is concentration.
Yes. Well,
So-
literally all of my bard spells are
Yeah.
concentration.
So
which is
if he breaks that, if he hits you for, let's say, a decent amount of damage,
yeah.
maybe.
But what's
he will.
nice is I have the warcaster feat, so I
At
get
least,
advantage.
yeah, advantage is nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, welcome to episode 7 of Rise of Tiamat. It's
We
been
finally
crazy.
saw a dragon.
Yeah.
And next week at the end, we roll new characters. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
We're gonna kill them.
so I guess this will have to work out in this way. So hopefully we'll have Laura back next week. And we're actually going to have, or next time, we're actually going to have a guest next time. So I guess you're going to have some assistance
Yay!
Yay.
for your dragon fight.
We're gonna need
And it just so happens that this character really wanted to come on this specific mission anyway. And has a polar bear pet, so it makes sense. There's some themes
Was
here.
that the polar bear we saw earlier?
Probably not, because that would have been a
Oh.
nice polar bear. But we could say it was.
Everybody gets a little hangry.
Sure, why not? We can
Sometimes.
yeah.
say
that it is. Just gonna be Tiefling Central next episode.
Oh man,
Oh,
this
she
was
did
so
too.
cool.
Yay!
All the Tieflings. So thank you so much, guys, for playing. I hope this was interesting. I had originally the backstory related things took a little longer than anticipated, or I mean, they took as long as they needed to take.
Mhm.
But that did detract a bit, and my rolling ones on all of the d6s, so it took longer to get to this village.
Mhm.
But
I feel like we need the help. So
well, Roswin, if you ever decide to shapeshift, you could now shapeshift into a giant octopus
It's true. I
and a
can.
polar bear.
I gotta add that to my list.
Yeah, add those to your list. I don't know if polar bear might be too high. It might be CR2, but
Whatever.
giant octopus is CR1.
Giant.
There you go.
Bad.
Silver lining.
I really wanted to meet, like, actually, what's a shark is higher than one, right?
There are different kinds of sharks. One of
Really
them,
what?
I think the hunter shark
Mhm.
or the reef shark, one of them is like low. Yeah, so Thank you guys so much. This was really fun. Roswin's staff finally leveled up. Katie's been bugging me constantly since
I'm like, did I do the thing that I need to do? What was the thing that I needed to do to make it level up?
Oh, you want to know now what it was?
Yeah. Now that it doesn't matter.
For level 9, you know, I didn't actually have anything. I just I didn't have a specific thing. Like I had specific things before. This one was more just a general way I felt that you were just playing Roswin. I felt like it felt right. So
okay, fair enough.
I didn't have a specific thing. Because it's also sort of taking a different path, so like it's kind of hard to, you know, but you're doing your best to be nice and help and all that stuff. So
now I can say, in the name of Selune, I will punish you.
Yes. Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
Moon prism.
Yeah, exactly.
I can watch that show for years and years and years. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually how this whole conversation, and this is, you know what, folks, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to say this is why, even if it's a small thing, these are things you should talk to your dungeon master in whatever game you're playing in about what you want for your character. It doesn't have to be specific, and I would recommend that it doesn't get too specific, because then you pigeonhole them in what they can do, and then that doesn't give them creativity. But high level conversations about stuff you'd like to have happen over time. Katie and I talked about this. When did we figure it out? Was it December of 2016? Is when we had the conversation about this whole thing happening.
Yeah.
Which
he was like, so how do you feel about God intervention? And I was like, I feel pretty good about it.
And
Positive.
we had a conversation. Somehow it started off as a Sailor Moon joke.
Somehow? What do you mean? I made our whole group as Sailor Moon characters.
Right, but I wasn't sure if that started first or the other conversation started first.
Oh,
I can't remember, but basically it was sort of a joke, and then I was like, oh, Selene's a moon goddess. Let me look into that a little bit. And then that kind of spiraled, and I've been sitting on this exact a version of this conversation for almost 2 years. And because we had this conversation, she told me what she wanted. I could make this happen in a way that was beneficial at the time that was right. But your DM's not a mind reader. Right? They can only help you. Help them help you. I don't have to say that everybody's going to take it in that direction at all, but you'll never know if you don't try. That's my PSA.
Thanks for the note from my dad.
Yeah.
Dad?
You can thank, I think, Fearless Guster for the trinket donation.
My dad got to talk to me. I didn't know if he was alive or dead. I still don't know. He could be dead.
He could be dead, but at some point.
His name is James.
Yeah.
James and his son Leopold.
Is this
God, we're classy.
You picked James because I said Pierce Bronson.
No, but that's actually funny that I didn't. But yeah, no, there's a reason. I had some thoughts. Celeste is thinking now, based on conversations that we had.
Yeah.
Because again, talk to your players and talk to your DMs and have these conversations. Anyway, I'm rambling. Celeste, why don't you tell us who you are and where people can find you on the internet?
Yeah, hi everybody. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Celeste Konowich. You can usually find me over on the Venture Maidens Twitch channel, where I am the Dungeon Master for the Venture Maidens podcast. So find me at Venture Maidens on Twitter, or me personally at C Konowich, and I'd love to chat with you.
All right, Katie, what about you?
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm lazy_mermaiden on social media. You can find me in the Nerd Immersion Discord. You can find me on my Twitter. I'm also playing, I say every Sunday night on Fuzzy You Walk Nuts channel, but I don't think we're playing for another 2 weeks because of things. So I also play on there, but you can find anything that I'm going to be doing. I will post about it on my Twitter as it's happening. So.
All right, guys, and I'm Ted from Nerd Immersion. This is my channel. This is an every other Monday show, so if you'd like to see what happens with these characters and this adventure, come back in 2 weeks' time to see that, June 25th, to see that. The next Monday fills the other alternating Monday, is a Princess of the Apocalypse game. It is also starring a member of the Venture Maidens, but as well as Bucky from Taking Initiative, and Davis from Dank Dungeons, and Chelsea from A Million Things, North by North quests, encounter role plays, learn by play. She's doing something now on Roll for It and a World of Darkness campaign. Yeah. So many things. But yeah, basically we alternate, but it's a shared universe. The characters sort of almost potentially interacted at one point, although these guys here in Rise of Tiamat are about like 3 weeks ahead in the future of where they are. So that's very taxing on me to remember that everything that they're experiencing, you guys are 3 months ahead of them. And
we're just so efficient.
It's also set in the same universe as Princess of the Apocalypse, The Bachelorette. If you'd like to see a fun little one shot that I ran with Katie and Shalom, who's been here in the chat, my wife, and Firebringer Axel, who is a big friend of mine, does a lot of homebrew stuff. We ran that game, and that's all those characters exist in the same universe, so there's always the potential for crossover. And yeah, tomorrow's my homebrew campaign, and then Wednesday will be It Builds Character, where I build characters. We just completed our Curse of Strahd campaign. It was just shy of a 6-hour campaign finale that ended on Sunday, so that will be hitting YouTube later this week if you'd like to see. So Curse of Strahd in the books now. Pretty crazy time, because most Strahd campaigns don't involve also an ancient black dragon, but ours does. So, on top of Barovia.
What level do you end up on?
What?
What level do you end on?
We were 8 in the final battle, and we ended at 11.
Yeah.
But that was all in the epilogue, so it didn't really matter. But it's crazy. It has like a perfect horror ending. You should definitely check it out. I will have more information about it tomorrow, but we do have a sponsor. They technically sponsored this episode, but I didn't get the art to do the graphics and things till like during the course of the stream. But I'm proud to announce that Nerd Immersion is sponsored by Initiative Coffee Company. It is a coffee company made by gamers for gamers, and they're awesomely donating coffee, something that keeps most of us going all the time. They donate. They're sponsoring us, and I'll have links in the below in the Twitch and overlay stuff. But they're super cool, and there is a discount code that will get you money off if you use Nerd Immersion. So yeah, it's called Improved Initiative is the name of the coffee line that they have. That's like a medium roast. They're working on like a light blonde roast as well. That'll be coming out soon. I will say tune in tomorrow night during tomorrow night's stream. I'll have more information. We'll also be drinking the coffee on the stream. Not that helps you guys because we're drinking it, but we will be. And then I'll have all the overlays and the links and all of that stuff. So be on the lookout for that as well. And also, we're a little ways out, but Gen Con.
Yes.
It has been sort of announced, but I'll be at Gen Con. Celeste will be at Gen Con. And Brittany will be at Gen Con. And Bucky will be at Gen Con. And Chelsea will be at Gen Con. And also Nassim will be at
Gen Con.
At Gen Con. Well. There's a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people. Grant Ellis, who we've done stuff with before, he's going to be there. So it's going to be a big, fun time of a lot of people who play games together. So if you're at Gen Con, you should come say hi. Yeah.
We'll be probably at the Rock Bottom Bar a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
That's a good bet.
Probably playing board RPGs there till they give us like the stank eye to leave.
They did not do that last year. They loved Venture Maidens and hung up our little logo on there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the one in the hotel.
No, not the one in the hotel.
That one.
No, we're
yes,
gonna go to
the other one where that guy was
Brewery.
creepily hitting on you guys.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
Yeah, good times.
Standard.
Good times.
Yay, Gen Con.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. It seems like you did in the chat. So be sure to show up and you guys can alter the course of the game, whether it's with Flintbucks or real world money. As we saw some trinkets that got Leo to talk to his dad. What?
My dad.
Crazy. So anyway, thank you guys. Oh shit, Katie, your trinket. I told you I was going to tell you later.
I totally forgot, to be honest with you, with it. that whole staff thing.
I totally, yeah. Let's see, where is it? Shit, now I gotta remember what the hell we rolled when I did that.
I know, Todd, it's puppies hate you. Just say it.
No,
just,
no.
Just get it.
So now your druidic magic, when cast, to fulfill the Sailor Moon-like aspect. It says the trinket is worded as your druidic magic manifests an aspect of your homeland, whether that would be seawater, desert sand, or ash, and like a flourish in the way it's cast. But no. It is moon-related, and how that looks is entirely up to you. Whether that's when you cast something, there's a flourish of moonlight sparkles, or whatever you want it to be, but it's got some moon thematics.
Sparkles.
Yeah.
You had me sparkly.
I mean, if it's when you go to wild shape, you know, you go into a little cinematic where pink ribbons fly out and you turn into the
Yay.
animal.
Shut up.
Yeah, man, if you want that, that's
All
yours.
right. I'm going to be prepared with a full description for next time.
Okay, that's fine. Think about it. We got 2 weeks. So,
Perfect.
anyway, thank you guys. Listen, I put Naruto stuff in the other game, so whatever. It's fine. Anyway, and Lilith has Cyclops glasses, so it's whatever. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.